Okay, good afternoon. So today we'll study the how the tools can be utilized for the completing your the PBL work. Okay, all right. So let us see the different tools which you have to be implemented on your the PBL, that is project based learning. All right. So I just told you to install the software, isn't it? The MATLAB as well as the Python. Do you have already installed? Mamta, Shivraj, Sneha, Uday.
No, sir. ಇದು ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ MATLAB.
Because you have to learn the machine learning also, right? So machine learning is a part of your PBL, okay? And also we have to analyze the various kinds of the data, predictions and all. So based on that, we have to learn the supervised and unsupervised learnings in the machine learning with respect to the artificial intelligence. Along with that, some of the tools has been undertaken for analysis of your battery management systems. We have to design the batteries and make the analysis with mathematical model as well as the regressions models. All right, that is the predictions for your battery management system. So with respect to this, we'll study the first the machine learning. Okay, how the machine learning can be used to develop our models. Okay, so do you have any idea with the machine learning? Anybody? Anybody? Do you have any idea about the machine learning? Shivraj, Uday, Sneha.
ಸರ್ ಅದು BI ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ ಸರ್. ಇದು ಪೈಥಾನ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಪೈಚಾರ್ಮ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಷಿನ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ ಸರ್.
Okay. What about others? Mamta, Sneha and
No,
Rashmi.
sir, ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ.
Okay, we'll go to any one. Don't worry, we'll study the machine learning properly in depth. Then we'll analyze the how to use this the subsets of the machine learning. Okay, so we'll learn with some certain kinds of the your tools, how the tools can be utilized, and also we'll study the discuss more on the assignments. Okay, assignments we have been already been assigned, and also we have to discuss how to develop your PBL, right? So these things we'll discuss in the today's sessions. All right. So let us see how the machine learning will work for your project-based learning and also the MATLAB. So these are the two tools you have to see, right? These are the contents, the machine learning tools and softwares, and the MATLAB simulations we are going to learn. All right. So first we'll see the artificial intelligence, right? So artificial intelligence says that how the machines can understand and also perform by itself, right? So that is what artificial intelligence is nothing but the set. Okay, artificial intelligence you can say it is set, and machine learning is a subsets. So under that we have the cognitive learning, deep learning, right? And also these are the various types of the learnings can be happen in the machine learning. Okay, so artificial intelligence is a set. Okay, under that we have the machine learning. Okay, under the machine learning we have the cognitive learning, deep learning, neural network, ANN. So various things will come. All right, what is artificial intelligence actually? It means that demonstrating by machines that helps to mimic the actions of the humans, isn't it? So it also simulates the natural intelligence in machines that are programmed to learn from the experience, and it will adjust the new inputs and perform the human-like task. So what is artificial intelligence? It is just like a set. I can say it is a set. Okay, just like an ocean. So it is just like an ocean. In the ocean, you can find a lot of species, fishes, and various kinds of the living things can be obtained in the ocean, isn't it? So machine learning is a part of the artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence it is just like a set. Okay, it will try to demonstrate by machines that helps to mimic the action of humans. How the human beings will act. No, based on that only, it will try to act just like the human beings. Okay, based on it is taking the learning from by experience. So AI will try to learn from its experience. Okay, as you give the new input of data, no, it will try to understand, it will try to analyze, and it will try to perform the task of the humans. Right. So you have the types of the artificial intelligence, right? So we have the type A and type 2. So we'll understand the type A. And the type A, under that we have the narrow AI, general AI, and the strong AI, isn't it? In the type 1, we have the narrow AI. So it will try to understand only the minimal things. Okay, it will try to understand only the minimal things. It has to, you have to give the inputs. So based on that, you'll try to analyze your inputs and try to give the outputs, right? It will not think in a very broader ways. So narrow AI will just only think about the very in a smaller ways. When we talk about the general AI, it will try to understand the actual data, what the data are being given by the users. Okay, for example, if you want to give a data of, for example, if you want to give the data of any data if you provide, no, for the general artificial intelligence, it will try to analyze your data and try to give the predictions, right? When you talk about strong AI, no, strong AI will think about the, if you have the enormous of data, bulk of data, right, which cannot be analyzed by the humans, right? If you feed the data, no, it will try to analyze, it will make the analysis of your data. For example, in the Google companies, right, we have the n number of employees are there. We want the data of each and everybody's, it's their performance, or it may be based on their what you say, input login and logout times, and what kind of project they are doing, right? And their everything data will be collected, because we have thousands of employees in the companies. Means it will not, we cannot analyze each by one by one. All the data we cannot analyze, isn't it? So where if we give the data, no, the machine will understand it will try to understand your input data, and it will make the predictions, and it will try to give the outputs. So that is how the strong AI will work, right? In general AI, it will try to understand only we are providing only by only the smaller data, right? It will try to understand. For example, we have the exam, where you can give the, like in ChatGPT, if you give one input, it will try to understand, and will try to give the outputs. So that is the general AI. We are just giving a very general things. Okay. So if you ask anything, it will try to provide. Right, it will not analyze like a strong AI, right? Strong AI is different from the general AI. In the strong AI, it will try to understand each database of each employees, its employee ID, and his performance, right? He log in, log out, everything it will try to analyze, right? So based on that, it will make the prediction models. So here we have the types. We'll study only the type 1, right? In the AI, we have the various components, right? So what are the different types of components? So we have the deep learning, right? We have the neural network, we have the NLP, natural language programming, processing, we have the computer visions, we have cognitive computing learnings, we have the machine learning, right? So these are the components of the artificial intelligence. So right, so what is the purpose of having the machine learning, right? What is the purpose of having the machine learning? So it will try to solve the business problems, right? It will try to, if you give any problems, it will try to analyze, right? It will try to give the solutions for your problems, right? And also it will handle the large volume of data. For example, if you want, which data cannot be analyzed, right? For example, you have the 1,000 sets of data, right? If you have the 50,000 of data, you cannot analyze with the particular equation, right? If you take the data, no, the data, if you feed the data to the machine, it will try to give the analysis of your data, right? And also it will try to automate the repetitive task. So if you give one task, no, it will try to understand. So the task is given by the users. So what task has been given, right? So based on that, if you give another task, no, the task with related with the previous one, almost which is similar, right? It will try to take that similar type, and it will try to automate and try to complete that task. So that is how the automate repetitive task will work, right? So when you think about the self improvement in the performance, right? So every time the machine learning will try to understand what the users are giving, right? For example, it will try to, if you browse any website, no, if you browse any website like in the Meesho, right? It will try to see when you purchase any clothes, right? And also if you try to buy any other like books or anything else, if you buy, no. So if you're buying your clothes, you're buying any kinds of the other things, no, for example, books and other things, etc., right? So it will try to see your budgets. It will try to see your budget, what the users are actually expecting from you, right? So based on that, it will also try to provide the other inputs. That is, in this budget, you can have these kinds of the things which are available for you, right? So based on the users understandable, it will try to give the performance, right? It will fix this much, this would be the price for you. So based on it will try to analyze the users data, right? What users are providing for me, based on it will try to improve by itself. So every time it will try to analyze the input which is given by the user. For example, if I'm buying the clothes for only 1,000 rupees, okay, so it will try to analyze this user wants only within the range of 1,000 rupees. It will try to generate, so all kinds of the various varieties of the things will be provided on the website, where it will try, you have to analyze the things which is required for the taking the picking those items. Okay, so based on that budget, it will try to understand, it will try to give us those data for users, right? So based on it will try to trial and error methods, try to improve by itself and give the performance, right? Anyhow, it will try to make the reducing the human efforts and the errors, right? Because this is very important for our in the battery management system also. We have to remove a lot of errors in the for the battery management system, right? It also supports the prediction and forecast, right? For example, if you want to see, for example, you are staying in your office, right? So during the time of around 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, right? Your distance up from your office to house is around 2 kilometers. Okay, so if you ask to the machine, no, if you ask to the, if give to the input to the machines, so what is the weather across during from 4 to 6 or 6 to 8 or 4 to 8? If I ask, no, it will try to, if I can I reach that home. So if it's in a span, if the distance of 2 kilometers, what would be the weather? If there is a rainfall, there is a sunny, there is a rainfall. It will try to analyze, it will make the predictions, it will collect the data. It will try to collect the data from the weathers. Right? It will try to make the prediction models and it will try to forecast the data for the users. So based on that, finally it will give, yes, you can leave, or it will tell you can stop. So that is what it is. Machine will try to analyze your data. It will try to make the predictions. As I given the example of one thing is, if you are leaving your office at around 5 o'clock, no, it is about somehow it is cloudy or somehow it is like rainy, right? So in this, if it is in that state, no, so it will try to understand. So whether I should go to home or not. If you ask a question, no, if whether I should go to home or not, I have the distance of around 2 kilometers from office to house. Okay, so it will take your data. Then it will take the data from the weathers also, right? It will try to analyze as the given user has given this data, and also it will take the data from the weathers also. It will try to prepare the models. It will try to prepare on prediction models, right? So by forecasting the data of the weathers as well as the users. So based on that, it will try to give the results. Okay, whether you have to leave or not, whether you have to go to home or not. So that is what it will try to understand. Right. So for that reason only we require the machine learning, right? So machine learning is a subset of the artificial intelligence, right? And also it will try to by the experience, right? By the, it will try to, if you give one input, no, if somebody gives another input, right? It will try to understand what the person has given the input for me, what is the other person has given the input for me, right? So based on these two input, no, it will try to study, it will try to read, it will try to understand, right? By trial and error methods, it will try to improve its experience. So that is called the personalized user experience. Okay. Sometimes it may give errors for the first user. Second user, it may try to give the same question as asked to the other user with a little modification, right? It will try to understand what the others is also expecting. So based on that, it will try to give the actual outputs, right? That is, it may try to mix the trial and error methods, and it will try to learn in a better way, right? That is called the machine learning. So that is by the personalized user experience, right? So when you give the data to the machine, it will try to understand, it will analyze. Sometimes it may give error. Better after one or two inputs, no, it will try to become more and more enhancing its analysis, right, and try to give the good outputs. So that is by the personalized user experience. So right, what is machine learning actually? Machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence, right? It is a branch of artificial intelligence, so that enables to learn from data and improve the performance without being explicitly programmed, right? So machine learning is a branch of AI, so that will enable this system to learn from the data, right, and improve the performance. So without being explicitly from the program. So it will try to understand, it is a part of the machine learning. So sorry, machine learning is a part of the AI, right? So it will try to system, right? If you say the AI is a set, isn't it? So ML is a subset. So if AI is a set, then ML is a subset, right? So from this, it will try to understand the data. So I was discussing about the machine learning, isn't it? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, I was discussing about the machine learning, isn't it? So machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence, right? It is a branch of artificial intelligence that enables the system to learn from the data, right? Whatever the data you provide, no, it will try to enhance your data, it will try to understand your data, right? It will try to predict your data, it will try to regressions, it will try to make the regressions of your data, and it will try to improve by itself. So that is how it will try to understand without having any programs, right? So just it will understand what the users are actually expecting from me. Then it will try to trial and error methods. Every time it will makes a trial and error methods to understand what the user actually wants, right? So that is what the machine learning will tell, right? Machine learning is nothing but just we are giving the data to the machines, right? And it will try to understand what the user has to be user has been asked and what I need to give the outputs, right? So based on the trial and error methods, it will try to improve its performance, right? So machine learning is a technique, right? So where the computer system learns the pattern from data. For example, if I give one data, no, it will try, if I give the data of the battery sets, okay. For example, I have the lithium ion batteries. I'll give its data voltage, current, and temperature, okay. For this to this hour to this hour, when the temperature is rise, we have the another data, right? The voltage and current having other data. If a temperature again it is increased, I have the another data. So these data will I will collect for the lithium batteries. Similarly, collect for the lead acid battery. Similarly, collect for the ultra capacitor. So various data I'll give. Okay, all the data I'll feed to the machines. So it will try to learn the patterns of from the data. Whatever the data has gained for the lithium, as well as your super capacitor, as well with the lead acid batteries, right? With different temperature, different voltage, and different current. Okay, it will try to analyze, and it will gives the it will make the decisions, right? It will try to make the decisions which battery is better than the other batteries, right? It will try to make the models, it will try to generate the patterns, okay, which is a more better than the other batteries, right? It will try to analyze the data which is given by the users, right? So that is what by takes a decision by itself, right? So it will try to improve automatically with experience, right? So like that I have given one data, okay. So like that other people also give some other data. No, I'm the user one, some user two will also take the different data. You will also feed to the machines. It will try to analyze the patterns of the data, and it will take the decisions and make the prediction model by the learning your data. All right, so it will by that only try to analyze the experience. So the machine learning, if you see the machine learning is a relation to the other fields also, not only with our battery management system, right? It will try to give a subset of AI. As I told, the ML is a subset of AI, right? So artificial machine learning is the subset of AI. You can say that AI is like an ocean, isn't it? So machine learning is the under the ocean. What else? What you can find the big shark, fishes, and all, isn't it? So like that. So AI is nothing but an ocean. So under that we have the machine learning. Okay, machine learning is just like you can say, think your the fishes, shark. Okay, so like that. Okay, so AI aims to create the intelligent machines. So AI will try to have to generate the machines in which the machine learning will provide the learning capabilities, right? So a machine will understand. It will try to learn by itself. Sometimes it will learn by itself. Sometimes it will take the assist from the other data also, right? And you will try to learn and give the proper outputs, right? Example is the one chatbots, right? So chatbot, if you see any open any website, no, in that right bottom you can see, do I need any help, right? It will ask how may I help you, right? So that is called a chatbot. Okay, it will try to speak with you. If you ask any question, no, for example, if you want to take the admission in some universities, right, it will ask, so what is the fee structure and what is the departments it have and how many departments it consists of, right? It will ask, it will try to ask, if you ask anything, it will try to give the outputs to the user. So that is what the chatbots. Okay, so this AI will try to understand the intelligent machines, and it will provide the learning capabilities. So based on the input, user will try to give the outputs, right? Similarly, we have the machine learning, and so also we have the different statistics also, right? So it will try to develop the statistical methods also, right? It will try to release on the statistical methods, and it will try to provide the predictions also, right? For example, if you want to find any data, right? If you want to find the correct data, if you want to remove the error from your batteries, it will try to generate the regression analysis. It will make the regression analysis. It makes the prediction models. Right, when you talk about the machine learning and data science, right? So that is what the ML is a core component of the data science, where the existing the ML builds the predictive models, right? It will try to develop the models. For example, it will understand the customer behavior of analysis, right? So as I told the example, if you when you go for the Amazon, when you go for the Flipkarts, when you go for the YouTube, right? If you take the different examples, no, so we'll understand the, how the machine learning and this will try to make the prediction models, right? So it will try, for example, if you open the YouTube, no, when you open the YouTube, it will understand what the user actually is want to see, right? If you type certain data, no, I want to see the videos of competitive exams. I want to see the inputs of the subjects, right? If I want to get the inputs of the sports, so it will try to understand what the user is actually expecting from it, right? So based on that analysis, it will try to develop the models, right? Predictive model. Similarly, it will next time when you open the YouTube, no, it will try to give that models. Means based on that relevant, it will try to give yes or no. So that is what it is trying to do it. Correct, Uday?
Sir, yes, sir, correct.
Sneha, Mamta.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See what actually the your customer behavior analysis ಯಾತರ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, how it is going to do the machine learning actually. So machine learning will try to understand, for if you take the Flipkart, now Flipkart ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, Flipkart ಅಲ್ಲಿ for example Amazon or Flipkart ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಏನಾದ್ರು ಬೈ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, okay. That is what I given the example of in the earlier, right? If ಏನಾದ್ರು ಬೈ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಒಂದು you are taking the jeans pant, you are taking the t-shirts, okay, in the nominal range ಒಂದು 800 1200 1500 ತೊಗೊಳ್ತೀರಾ, okay. ಸೊ ಅದು ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕಸ್ಟಮರ್ ಇದೇ ರೇಟಲ್ಲಿ ತೊಗೊಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅದನ್ನು ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತದೆ. ಓ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ದ ಕಸ್ಟಮರ್ ಇಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಮೀ. ಸೊ ಅದೇನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಅದೇ ಥರ ರೆಲೆವೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ರೈಸಿಗೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ನಿಮಗೆ ಜನರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಕೊಡುತ್ತದೆ. ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಜನರೇಟ್ ದ ಪೇಜಸ್. ಸೊ ಕಸ್ಟಮರಿಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು 1500 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಒಳಗಡೆನೆ ಹೊರತು 15,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿದು ಯಾವ್ದು ಬಟ್ಟೆ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ರೆಡಿ ಟು ಬೈ. Correct, he is not ready to buy of cost of 15,000. He is ready to buy only the cost of 1500 rupees. So 1500 rupees ಇಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಐಟಮ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಜನರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ. ಸಿ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಟೆಲಿಜೆಂಟ್. ಎಸ್ ಸರ್, ನೋಡಿ ಮಿಷಿನ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಕಸ್ಟಮರಿಗೆ ಏನು ಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ, ಹಿ ವಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಟು ಟೇಕ್ ದ ಓನ್ಲಿ ದ ಕ್ಲೋತ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅರೌಂಡ್ 1500 rupees, ಓಕೆ. ಅದೇ ರೇಂಜಲ್ಲಿ 800 1500 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ರೇಂಜಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಅದೇನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಅದು ಜನರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. ಅದು ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಿ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ. ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ದಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಯುವರ್ ಬಿಹೇವಿಯರ್. ಕಸ್ಟಮರ್ ಬಿಹೇವಿಯರ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಕಸ್ಟಮರ್ ಏನು ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಯಾವ ರೇಂಜಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಎಸ್ ಸರ್, ಅದೇ ಥರ ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಪೇಜಸ್ನ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ. ಬಿಯಾಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಗೋ ಓನ್ಲಿ. ಎಸ್ ಸರ್, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಗೋ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಪ್ರೆಡಿಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ದ 1500 rupees ಆರ್ 15,000 rupees ಆರ್ 25,000 rupees ಪ್ರೆಡಿಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲದು. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಕಸ್ಟಮರ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಇನ್ ದಟ್. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಯುವರ್ ಬಿಹೇವಿಯರ್. ಕಸ್ಟಮರ್ ಏನು ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಮಾತ್ರ ಅದು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಗಿವ್ ದಟ್ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್, ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ಒಂದು ಮಾಡೆಲ್ನ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅದೇ ರೇಟಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಓಪನ್ ದಟ್ ಸೇಮ್ ವೆಬ್ಸೈಟ್, ಫ್ಲಿಪ್ಕಾರ್ಟ್ ಆರ್ ಅಮೆಝಾನ್, ವಾಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್ ದಟ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಐಟಮ್ಸ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್. ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಗೋ ಬಿಯಾಂಡ್ ದಟ್. ಸಿ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ದ ಮಿಷನ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಅನಲೈಸ್ ದ ಬಿಹೇವಿಯರ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಕಸ್ಟಮರ್ಸ್, ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ the ML is a core of data science, okay. So that is a data science focus on the extracting the insights. So it will try to extract the in-bit model of the your prediction of the customer behavior, right? So ML builds the predictive models. So machine learning ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಈ ಕಸ್ಟಮರ್ಗೆ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಂದು ಪ್ಯಾಟರ್ನ್ ಡಿಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಫೆಲೋ ಇಸ್ ಆಸ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ 800 rupees to 1500 rupees of qualities of the items. So based on that only it will try to give that pages. So that is how the machine learning will understand, right? ಅದೇ ಥರ ನಾವು ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್, ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಥಿಂಕ್ more on our battery analysis, right? How to improve its customization of the behavior of the inputs of our batteries, such as voltage, current and temperature and all, right? So based on it will try to predict and it will give the model properly, isn't it? So these are the which help us to learn in the machine learning, right? So next we have the machine learning and the computer science. If you say that provides algorithm, data structure and computation power, ML will use the efficient programming and optimizing the techniques, okay. It is just like the search engine. For example, if we in the chat GPT, if you type anything else in the chat GPT, it will try to generate. If you want to generate your biodata, it will try to generate. It means that the certain machine learning uses the efficient programming. So it has to, you should program the machine learning properly, right? So what the user is expecting to generate, what is the user wants to exactly, right? So based on the system software, no, it will try to understand what the actually the user is expecting from you, right? So it will make the computations, it will try to analyze your structure of the data, right? It has certain algorithms. We are providing the algorithm. Based on the algorithm only, it will try to give the outputs, right? Just like a search engine of Google or the search engine of your ChatGPT or DeepSeek, right? So that is what the machine will try to your algorithms. It will try to make the computational powers, right? It means that you will try to analyze the big data also. It will try to analyze the optimize the various technique also, right? Because of the inputs which is provided by the users, right? So this is also other things, right? Where you can have the various machine learning and information theory coding, right? Machine learning and optimization theory. It will try to ML models require the optimization to minimize errors, right? So this is what we have to see the gradient descent algorithms, right? It will try to develop the models. Suppose if you want to develop any models, it will try to understand so what the actually the users are wants to predict it, right? So it will try to optimize the actual errors, right? What is the error has to be taken from the given data, right? It will try to remove the errors, or it will try to optimize your minimizing the errors, right? So we are just trying to develop certain algorithms for that. Right, similarly we have the deep learning models also, we have the face recognitions also, right? So these are the various things, right? So in the machine learning and the neuroscience also, it will try to understand the neural network, right? Just like a neurons, how do you have the neurons in your brain, no? The small nerves. So right, that is what it will try to understand where the actually the nervous system in the brain, right? The small brains nerve where it is going to make any the circulations of what do you say, the fluids or not, everything it will check. It will try to understand, right? It will try to see what the human brains actually, it just makes like an exactly like a human beings, right? It will mimics like exactly like a human beings brains ಯಾವ ತರ ಇದೆ ಅದೇ ತರದ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಸೇಮ್ ತರದ್ it will try to behave, right? That is called the deep learning models. So deep learning model just you can remember the example of the, if you want to understand the concept in depth, no? If you want to see the nervous system in the brain, no, it is very sensitive and it is very complex, right? If you want to see, no, if you have to go for the MRI only, correct? So MRI, you can understand what is happening inside the nerves of your human brains, right? If you make the scan, if what is the X-ray, if it is the X-ray, no, of your bone, right? So you cannot see the nerve. You can see only the bones, isn't it? So inside the brain, that is very sensitive part. Also, you can analyze, right? That is what the machine learning it is doing. It is just mimic like a human beings. That is called, we have the deep learning models. Okay. Similarly, we have the face recognition, the pattern recognition also, right? So based on the earlier patterns, you'll try to understand the identifying the patterns in the data, right? Which is closely related with the focus which is given by the users, right? So if you see the types of machine learning, we have the supervised learning, we have unsupervised learning, we have semi-supervised, we have the reinforced learning. Okay. So in the supervised learning, for example, if you want to teach the student, no, you have to first teacher should know everything. Correct? Means he is supervising to, he is guiding to the students to understand what exactly you have to do, what exactly you have to learn, what is the in-depth concept, right? So that is what is supervised learning, right? Somebody is insisting you. So if anybody asks the question, no, so they are expecting to give the answers. Correct? They are expecting to give the answers, right? That is called supervised learning. So whatever you ask to your teacher, no, they'll explain you, they'll make you to understand very clearly, right? So from there, from your teacher, you're going to learn. That is called supervised learning. Okay. So that is, we have the regressions, that is the predictions and the classification, right? So if you talk about the unsupervised learning, right, where your teachers won't be there. Okay, without the help of teachers, you are going to learn the many things, right? For example, if you want to learn the for if you give an inputs, no, for example, if I give an inputs, okay, for example, I've given an inputs for the machines. So machine first time it will do errors, okay, because it doesn't have any data only, right? Here you have your teacher has all the data, so they will answer to your question, but here there is no teachers, correct? There is no teacher to guide you, to insist you. Somebody is not monitoring you, and somebody is not making you to learn only, right? You have to learn by yourself. That is called the unsupervised learning. So how do you make the unsupervised learning? right? You have the clustering models, right? You have to see the clustering patterns of the earlier designs. That is what I told you know. So you have to see the your old models, old patterns. So that is identifying the pattern in data, right? You have to identify the patterns, right? So by that patterns you have to record the patterns. First you have to record the patterns. For example, I'll give the example of if you have the library, you know, so you should go to the library, you should go to the YouTube, you should go to the NPTEL, you should go to the Udemy course, right? So there are different courses. You have to learn by yourself and try to restore it, right? So then only if anybody asks any question, you can answer it very easily. That is called the unsupervised learning. Understood? No? So without the help of teacher, you're going to the library, you're collecting all the data and you're storing all the data, right? And if you are going to the YouTubes, you're learning certain, you're watching certain videos, you're trying to learn by yourself without the help of the teacher, right? So again, if you go to the any for example, if you want to learn anything, right, that is the clustering models, all the data you have to store it, right? If you go to the YouTube, if you go to the NPTEL, so NPTEL videos, so if you want going to learn certain like topics, no, those things has to be learned from the YouTube, this one, what is it, from the NPTEL courses, right? So it means that without having any assistance, you are storing all the data. So all the data are ready with you, okay? All the data, if I need to ask any question, you'll quickly you'll answer. That is called the unsupervised learning, right? Without the help of the assistance of any teacher, because you have the backup of the data. Without having the backup of the data, you cannot make the predictions. That is very difficult. That is called the unsupervised learning. Where supervised learning, you have the whatever you ask, it will give immediately. But unsupervised learning, it will try to collect all the data by trial and error methods. It will try to store and will try to collect all the informations what the user actually wants. That's why this ChatGPT, or many people are using the ChatGPT, you are making the ChatGPT to improve more and more faster, because many errors and trial and error methods, different inputs are coming, right? So it is understanding whether what actually users are giving for me, what I should give the outputs. So that is what it will try to understand by itself, will try to learn by itself. And finally, it will give the fine output by learning its older patterns. So that is called the unsupervised learning. Okay. So semi-supervised learning is a hybrid of these two. So supervised and supervised learning, right? So you can see there is a supervised learning, right? Supervised learning is defined as when the model gets trained, right, on a labeled data. So you have to train the data. This is the actual data I'm giving to you. It will try to, if you ask in the data, no, it will try to give. If you ask beyond that, no, it will not give. That is called supervised learning, right? So that is the data set you have to provide. That is the label data set you have to provide, right? So label data sets have both input and output parameters, right? In supervised learning, it will know, if you know the input, you know what is the output also it will come. So that is called the unsupervised learning. So if your teacher asks this question, no, you will answer only for that, correct? Because that your teacher has already taught the inputs. So you are giving that outputs in the exams. So that is called supervised learning. Okay. In supervised learning, algorithms learns to map points between the inputs and correct outputs. Okay. So you have a certain algorithm, right? Certain techniques you have learned from your teachers, right? So you know your teachers is providing the inputs for you, right? You have developed certain algorithms. So based on the algorithm, you are trying to execute that programs, right? It will try to give the output, expected output. That is the correct output it will provide, right? Example, ಏನು ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ question ಏನು ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಅದನ್ನೇ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ವಾ? So that is called supervised learning. ಅದು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. Correct, no? Because the data I have not trained only. The data I have not trained at all. So without training the data, how can I give the outputs? That will not come under the supervised learning. Correct? So it is both the training and validation of data sets should be labeled. Means we have to train the data and it should, right? So first that is what you have to make the classification in the supervised learning methods, right? So you provide the input attributes of the classification algorithm called the independent variables, right? So that is what you have to provide the variables for the in the algorithms. It will try to label the data, right, depending upon that target attributes what output we are going to expect, right? So those things we have to make the relationship between the input and output target, which is represented in the form of structure, right? So that is called the classical models, right? Classification during the first step is called the training the stage, right? The learning algorithm takes the labeled data sets. It will try to understand the data like this. So these are the labeled data sets, okay? I have just trained, right? There are dogs are there, puppies are there, right? Isn't it? Some cats are there. So based on this, I'm labeling the data. This is the cat, these are the dogs, okay? I'm just labeling the data, right? It will classify the algorithm, right? It will classify the algorithm. If any new data has come, no, if the new data sets also just to provide, right? So based on this modeling, right, it will try to label the labeling the cats. So that is called the classification during the first stage. They called the training stage, right? You have to train what exactly is this, is you have to train, right, and label the data, right? And learning the algorithm takes a label data sets. By learning this this one, it will try to understand, it will try to label the data properly. and start learning. After the training the sets, no, the samples and processed, you can see there is a sample will be processed in the algorithms, right, and the models is generated. Then you can see that the model will be generated based on the new data set, right? So if it will try to understand how whatever the data you gain, only the based on that it will make the prediction, it will give the output and the label cat, right? So that is what you will try, because this is also been trained. This is also been trained. It will classify, right? Class A, class B, class C, it will classify, right? Like that you have the batteries, okay? Lithium batteries and lead acid batteries, yeah, super capacitor. It will try to classify based on your voltage, current and ratings. It will make the regressions, okay? It will try to make the regression. It will try to make the predictions of your models. So like that it has to train the data, right? Without training the data, it will not understand the machines. Machine will not understand what the user is giving for me, right? You have to please train the data, right? After training the data, it will sample, it will process your model and generate model will be generated, right? In the second stage, the constructed model is tested with the test or unknown sample. You have to test the data. So once you give the data, now for example, you have labeled the cat, right? The new test data I've given, right? So based on this, it will check the classifying models, right? It will check the classifying model based on the algorithms. Then it will generate this model to provide the output of your label data. Okay, so that is what I will try to test the second stage also, right? And they construct the model in a tester with the test or unknown sample and assign the labels. So this is called the classification process, right? This is one of the best example to make you to understand for the supervised learning. Right, classification is a supervised learning method. So you have to classify different data sets. You have to classify, right? Data set 1, data set 2, data set 3. You have to classify the different models, right? Lithium, hydrogen, and also the ultra capacitor fuel cells, right? So like you just make the classification, take the inputs attributes of the classified, right? Algorithms called we call that as a independent variables. Okay, we are taking the independent variables from the battery data sets. Okay, so based on that only, it will try to label, right? It will try to label lithium, this is the super capacitor fuel cell, like that. Okay, so depending upon the labeled or the dependent variables, so based on it will try to make a relationship between the input and the target variables. So what is the actually we are going to expect, right? Which is the highest we have to train. So we have to check which is the better one of the battery stages, right? Which is the better one, which is the battery is good, and which is the battery is having the good performance, right? And why this battery has been selected. That is what we are just making to understand the machines to learn this by collecting the data and making the predicted models. So this is called the actually the regression models, right? So every time you have to see the various values you have to provide, right? You have to provide the various values. So alright, this is called the actually prediction models. So is that clear? The supervised learning?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir.
See, this is one of the example you can understand. See, we have the raw data, okay? You can see where the camel, elephant, isn't it? So like this, we have the different animals we have, right? So we are just labeling, right? We are labeling elephant, cow, and camels. So you have to label it, right? Because you are training, right? This is under the training periods, right? You have already trained the data, right? Then what expecting you are doing, what expectations your output, what expecting you are going to take the outputs. I want to see that, for example, you have this is a lithium, right? You have the fuel cell, and this is ultra capacitor. I want to check the fast charging and fast discharging, right? I want to make the predicting that models. My desired output is I want to check the fast charging and depth of discharge also. Sometimes if you give what expecting, you have to develop in the algorithms. Try to develop in that algorithm, it will try to process your data, right? So based on that, it will segregate, classify, and it will give the outputs. So that is what you have to train the data, right? You have to please train the data for your given models, right? And label it. So based on that, it will try to learn, right? And try to, meanwhile you have to provide the algorithms also, right? What actually you are going to expect in the outputs, right? And it will try to predict the what exactly the user actually expecting from you. Okay, you can see the example is also given. If you train a model using labeled images, right? These are the labeled data. Okay. Now we are going to images. We are going all these images we have been labeled. Okay, elephant, cow, and camel, like this. Okay. So there is labeled images of cats and dogs, right? Or you can see it may be of elephant, camel, and cow, right? It learns the features of each. It will understand this data, right? It what the data you are providing, it will understand, and data will be trained. So supervised means there is one supervision, one supervisor will be there. So that is your teacher. So teacher will try to classify, right? It will train, he will train the data. Based on that only, it will, based on the algorithms, it will try to provide the output, right? When shows a new image, right, it predicts whether it is a cat or a dog. So suddenly if you give any images, no, for example, if you give some other data, right, it will, because the data are already trained over here. Okay, so data are already trained over here. It will make the predictions whether it is a cat or a dog. So that is what they are telling, right? So it will based on the output, because it is, the data are already labeled, right? Lithium, like that, fuels are the ultra capacitor label. So based on the algorithms, you have to develop that models. You will try to process. If suddenly new data come, no, if you give the new other set data like old batteries data or new batteries data, it come, no, it will try to understand, and it will try to exactly, it will try to predict what exactly the output to have to give. So that is how the supervised learning will do it, right? Because you have to learn, you are in the batteries also, right? Batteries ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ಯಾವ ತರ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮೆನ್ಸ್ ನೋಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ, right? That is what we have in the your P bill, right? So the application, if you see then applications, we have the various applications also, right? So when you talk about the applications of the your controlling, right, and also the analytics, right, we are going for the predictive analysis, right? So pratyundanaste, for example, if you take the image, speech and text processing for tasks like images classification, speech recognition, and sentiment analytics, right? So these are various examples, right? It also predicts the analysis of the forecast the sales customer, right? It will try to understand the stock price, it will understand the weather condition. Prediction analysis and you have to predict the actual outcomes, right? ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಷ್ಟು ನಾವು ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿನ ನಾವು ಎಷ್ಟು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಇದೆ, ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ನಾವೇನು ಪ್ರಿಡಿಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಪ್ರಿಡಿಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ 80%ಗಿಂತ 75% ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂದರೆ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿನ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ವಾಟ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಷನ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಟೇಕ್. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ವಿ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್. ಫಾರ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಲರ್ನ್ ದ ಮಿಷಿನ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್. ಅಂಡರ್ ದಟ್ ಮಿಷಿನ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಲರ್ನ್ ದ ಸೂಪರ್ವೈಸ್ಡ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅನ್ಸೂಪರ್ವೈಸ್ಡ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಸಿ, ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ರೆಕಮೆಂಡೇಶನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಪರ್ಸನಲೈಸೇಷನ್, ರೈಟ್? ಪವರಿಂಗ್ ದ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ದಟ್ ಸಜೆಸ್ಟ್ ದ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್, ಮೂವೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ಸ್. ನೋಡಿ, ಯೂಸರಿಗೆ ಏನು ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಗಿವಿಂಗ್ ದ ಡೇಟಾ, ರೈಟ್? ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ನೀವು ಯೂಸರಿಗೆ ನೀವು ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್, ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬೇ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, ರೈಟ್? ಒಂದು ಮೂವೀಸ್ ವಾಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಮೂವೀಸ್, ತೆಲುಗು ಮೂವೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ಮೂವೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಹಿಂದಿ ಮೂವೀಸ್, ಇಸಂಟ್ ಇಟ್? ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಲ ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಅನಲೈಸ್ ದ ಯೂಸರ್ಸಿಗೆ ಏನು ಬೇಕು. ಹಿ ಈಸ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಇನ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಹಿಂದಿ ಮೂವೀಸ್. ಹಿಂದಿ ಮೂವೀಸಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ, ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ಮೂವೀಸ್ನ ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಗಿವ್ ದ ರೆಲೆವೆಂಟ್ ಮೂವೀಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಟ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಹಿಸ್ ದ heroes, isn't it? So that is what it will make the recommendations. Just like YouTube is one of the example, right? It will try to analyze the users na ಏನು ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು prediction model. That is, I told you, it will try to understand the mimic of your human brains, mimics of how the human brains will learn, isn't it? So that is what it will try to understand. Human brain ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು, ಏನು ಪ್ರಿಡಿಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರು, ಏನು ಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಕೂಡ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಗಿವ್ ದ ರೆಕಮೆಂಡೇಶನ್, ರೈಟ್? ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ಸ್. ಯಾವ ಥರ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕು ನಿಮಗೆ, ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೋ ಟೈಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಟೈಪ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್, ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್ ಆಲ್ ರೆಲೆವೆಂಟ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಕಮ್, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್, ರೆಲೆವೆಂಟ್ ಕೂಡ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ. ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಲ ನಿಮಗೆ ರೆಲೆವೆಂಟೇ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು, ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಯೂಸರ್ನ ಇಟ್ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ. ಮಿಷಿನ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ವಿಲ್ ಲರ್ನ್ ವಾಟ್ ಯೂಸರ್ ಇಸ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್? So if you open that songs, no, again it will come the same singers of that song every time, right? Relevant ಅದೇ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಹೊರತು ಹೊಸದು ಯಾವುದು ಬರಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ. So that is what it will make the health predictions, right? Used for a medical diagnosis, right? It is used to try to understand the human diseases, right? Human disease ಯಾವ ಥರ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು, ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಏನು ಆ್ಯಕ್ಷನ್ ತೊಗೋಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. I given the example of one times, again the example, isn't it? Do you remember what examples I have given for healthcare in the machine learning? Mamta?
Yes, sir.
I give the example of one healthcare, no, in the machine learning for a medical diagnosis. Diagnosis ಯಾವ ಥರ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, how it is going to make the diagnosis, right? I want to diagnose my batteries now, okay? I want to make the diagnosis of batteries health condition ನೋಡಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ ನಾನು, by using the machine learning of the under the supervised learning, right? I want to see the diagnosis of my batteries, whether battery is degraded or not. Battery degrade ಆಗಿದೆ ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? That is what I want to collect its data collect ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ನಾನು. ಡೇಟಾ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಫೀಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ವಿತ್ ದ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಅಲ್ಗೋರಿಥಮ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಜನರೇಟ್ ಇಟ್, ಓಕೆ? ಸೊ ಅದೇ ಥರ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಕೇರಲ್ಲಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ, It will understand the diagnosis of the human beings, right? It will try to scan the entire bodyನ ಸ್ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಹಿಂದೆ ಏನೇನು ನೀವು ವಾಟ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್ಸ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟೇಕನ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಪಾಸ್ಟ್. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಯು ಗೋ ಟು ಒನ್ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್, he'll give one medicine. If you go to other doctor, he'll give other medicines. If you go to third doctor, he'll give some other medicines. Even doctor cannot remember what medicine has been injected to the body, isn't it? So these all data it will collect. It will collect all the data, the previous data ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಒಂದು ಮಾಡಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ರೆಡಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಆ ಬೇಸಿಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, it will try to analyze, right? You will try to analyze how the disease has been occurred and what is the action it has to take to recover, and what the next medicines have to give it for the patients. So based on that, it will make the predictions, right? It will try to predict the models, it will try to analyze the models, it will try to diagnose completely of the human beings. Then it will say, this is the diseases, right? This is the operations you have to do. So if this is the treatment you have to provide, so this is the things you have to make it. So that is what the machine learning will provide. ಮಿಷಿನ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಅದೇ ಥರ ನಮ್ಮ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ಲೂ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಇನ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ವೆನ್ ಯು ಟಾಕ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರೀಸ್ನು, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ದ ಪ್ರೆಡಿಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ದ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಇದೆ, ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ನೋಡುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋಡ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಸಿ ದ ಡಿಸ್ಟಿಲ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿ, ರೈಟ್, ಇನ್ ದ ಯು ಎಸ್ ಅಮೆರಾನ್ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರೀಸ್, ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋಡ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರ್, ಕರೆಂಟ್, ವೋಲ್ಟೇಜ್, ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ದ ಡೇಟಾಸ್. It will try to see the degradations of your batteries and it will give outputs. So that is for the diagnosis, right? ಅದೇ ಥರ ನಮಗೆ ಮಿಷಿನ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗಲ್ಲೂ there is one part where you have to understand the diagnosis of that batteries, right? We have to see the battery diagnosis, right, by providing the past data. Okay, when you talk about unsupervised learning, right, we'll teach only the supervised and unsupervised learning, right? So supervised learning, you already know it, isn't it? Is that clear, supervised learning?
Yes, sir.
Is that clear, Rashmi?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sanjita, is that clear, supervised learning? Shivraj, Sneha?
Yes, sir.
So right, we'll see the unsupervised learning, right? So in unsupervised learning actually works with unlabeled data, right? Meaning there are no prediction outputs. You cannot get the outputs. Means ನಾವು ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ನ ಪ್ರೆಡಿಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ, ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಲೇಬಲ್ ಡೇಟಾಸ್ ಓವರ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಸೂಪರ್ವೈಸ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾರು ಟ್ರೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಈ ಥರ ಇದೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿಡ್, isn't it? And this is the input they are providing, and this is the output you may get, isn't it? So that is what the supervised learning. Supervised learning ಒಂದು ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂದರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಅಷ್ಟರಲ್ಲೇ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ನೀವು ಅಷ್ಟರಲ್ಲೇ ಬರೀಬೇಕು, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ದ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ಸ್, isn't it? So that is called supervised. Unsupervised learning ಯಾವ ಥರ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ unsupervised learning works with unlabeled data, right? So I may ask any questions, right? I may ask any questions in the examination, right? Meaning there are no prediction outputs, right? So you pass ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, fail ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, yes or not? So there are chances if you ask out of syllabus, no, you may pass also, you may fail also. So that is called the unsupervised learning. ನೀವು ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗಲೇಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಇವಾಗ ನಾನು ಒಂದು ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್ ಹೇಳಿರ್ತೀನಿ, ಒಂದು ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ನೀವು, ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಸರ್ಚ್ ದ ಮೆನಿ ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಅರೌಂಡ್ ದ ಲೈಬ್ರರಿ ಎಷ್ಟೆಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್ನ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು. So that I can ask any question, then only you can give the output for me, correct? So that is what the algorithm finds, the hidden patterns, right? Hidden patterns ಅಂದರೆ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, for example the things textbook which has not been referred for the first time also, right? You have to refer those textbooks. So you try to refer the textbooks and try to learn it by your own. So and try to understand that patterns and the group of the relationship where the data on its by own. You have to learn the data, you have to learn the patterns by your own. ಓಕೆ, ನಾನು ಅದೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ, ನೀವು ಲೈಬ್ರರಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು, ನಾನು ಯಾವ್ದೊಂದು ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್ ಹೇಳಿರ್ತೀನಿ, ಒಂದು ಫಾರ್ ಮೆಷಿನ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಅಥವಾ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ವೆಹಿಕಲ್ ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್ ಹೇಳಿರ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ವೆಹಿಕಲ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇರೋದು ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜೀಸ್, ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲಿಂಗ್ ಯುವರ್ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರೀಸ್, ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲರ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ದ ವೆಹಿಕಲ್ ಡೈನಮಿಕ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲದೂ ನೀವು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು. ಎಸ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್ ದ ಬಂಚಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಬೈ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್. ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ಯು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್, ನೋ, ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ವಾಟ್ ದ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್. ಎಸ್ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್? ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ it mainly used for this clustering, the dimensional reductions and the data visualization, right? It will try to develop the clustering models, right? ಅದೇನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ಪ್ಯಾಟರ್ನ ಕಲ್ತ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಏನು ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಸಮ್ಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ಎರರ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಸಮ್ಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಯೂಸ್ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ನ ಯು ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಡೆವಲಪ್ ದಟ್ ಪ್ಯಾಟರ್ನ್ಸ್. ಒಂದು ಪ್ಯಾಟರ್ನ್ ತನ್ನ ಪ್ಯಾಟರ್ನ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಿಯರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ಸ್, ರೈಟ್. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಆರೆಂಜ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಬ್ಲೂ ಕಲರ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಆರೆಂಜ್ ಕಲರ್ ಬ್ಲೂ ಕಲರ್ ಹೌದು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡೋ ಕ್ಯಾಪಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಬೆಳೆಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಯೂಸರ್ಗೆ ಅದು ಏನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಇದು ಆರೆಂಜ್ ಕಲರಾ ಅಥವಾ ಇದು ರೆಡ್ ಕಲರ್. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಸಿ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ನೋ regression models, right? So here you have the orange color, right? Isn't it? You have our green color over here, you may have the yellow color over here, you may have the other color, right? It will try to understand what type of color it is there. So it by itself, it will try to learn by itself, by the coloring, right? That is what I told you, ಎಲ್ಲ ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್ ಓದಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅವಾಗ. ಸೊ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ವರ್ಲ್ಡಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್ನ ನೀವು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. You cannot leave the one textbook. You cannot study one electric vehicle textbook. Okay, you have to learn the electric vehicle ಮೇಲೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ authors ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ what is their expectations in that, right? So everything you have to learn by its own. So that is what algorithm finds the hidden patterns. You have to develop the algorithms. It will try to study the relationship of the groups of patterns and by its own, right? So mainly for clustering, right? Everything is for the clustering models. ಯಾಕೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಕಲಿಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ you have to develop the clustering models. ಸೊ ವಿದೌಟ್ ದ ಕ್ಲಸ್ಟರಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಸ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್, ರೈಟ್? ಈ ಥರ ಪ್ಯಾಟರ್ನ ನೀವು ಈ ಥರ ಪ್ಯಾಟರ್ನ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ದ ಪ್ಯಾಟರ್ನ್. ಸೊ ಆರೆಂಜ್ ಮತ್ತು ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಕಲರ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಬೇಕು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ, ಯಾವ್ದು ಆರೆಂಜ್, ಯಾವುದು ಗ್ರೀನ್, ಯಾವ್ದು ವೈಟ್ ಅನ್ನೋ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಟ್ರೈನೇ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ. ವಿ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಟ್ರೈನ್ಡ್ ಅಟ್ ಆಲ್. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಬೈ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್. ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಬೈ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್. ಸೊ ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಅನ್ ಅನ್ಸೂಪರ್ವೈಸ್ಡ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್. ಓಕೆ, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಅನ್ಸೂಪರ್ವೈಸ್ಡ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ದ ಅಬ್ಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೂಪರ್ವೈಸ್ ಆರ್ ಟೀಚರ್, ನೋಡಿ, ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಕಾಮನ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್. ತನ್ನಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ತಾನೇ ಅದೇ ಟ್ರೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ, ತನ್ನಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ತಾನೇ ಅದೇನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಕಲರ್ ಪ್ಯಾಟರ್ನ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇಟ್ ನೋಸ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಕಲರ್ಸ್. ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಲರ್ನ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ, ಅದು ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಬೈ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಓನ್. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಅಲ್ಗೋರಿಥಮ್, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಟ್ರೈನ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಲಿ. ಕಲರ್ ಯಾವುದು, ಆರೆಂಜ್ ಕಲರ್ ಯಾವುದು, ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಕಲರ್, ಅದೇ ಪ್ಯಾಟರ್ನ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಸೊ ಆರೆಂಜ್ ಕಲರ್ ಲೈನ್ನ ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ರಿಗ್ರೆಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಡ್ರಾ ದಿ ಲೈನ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್. So this is the orange color lines, right? Next you will try to draw the green color lines with the dotted lines. So it means it is making its own patterns. It is trying to generate the developing the models. So ಅದೇ ಥರ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದೆ, without any absence of the teacher, right? Absence of the teachers, it will self intersect the most common kind of the learning process, right? So this process is a self intersect based on the concept of trial and error method. See, every time telling the it ಒಂದೇ ಸಲ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕಂತ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ ಅದು. ಇದು ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ನೀವು ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗಲೇಬೇಕಂತೇನಿಲ್ಲ. ಎಸ್ ಅಣ್ಣ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಮೇಕಿಂಗ್ ದ ಟ್ರಯಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎರರ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ಸ್. ಎಸ್ ಅಣ್ಣ, ಒಂದೇ ಸಲ ಹೇಳಿದ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ನ ಕಲಿಬೇಕಂತೇನಿಲ್ಲ. ಟೇಕ್ ಸರ್ಟನ್ ಟೈಮ್ಸ್. ಕೆಲವರಿಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಟೈಮ್ ಬೇಕು, ಕೆಲವ್ರಿಗೆ ಬೇಗ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತಾರೆ. ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಬೈ ಟ್ರಯಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎರರ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ದೇ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಲರ್ನ್ ಬೈ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಅನ್ಸೂಪರ್ವೈಸ್ಡ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್. ವಿತೌಟ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಯು ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಲರ್ನ್. ನಾನು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತೀನಿ, ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಗೋ ಟು ದ ಲೈಬ್ರರೀಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಸರ್ಚಿಂಗ್ ಆಲ್ ದಿ ಬುಕ್ಸ್. ಯಾರು ರೆಲೆವೆಂಟ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಆ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಏನಿದೆ, ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫಾರ್ಮರ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫಾರ್ಮರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಥರ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫಾರ್ಮರ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ, ನಾನು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ. Beyond that, I have not taught anything else because I have not been labeled, I have not been identified to make you to learn the objects. Transfer ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ. ನೀವು ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಶೆಲ್ ಟೈಪು, ಕೋಡ್ ಟೈಪು, ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಫೇಸ್, 3 ಫೇಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ವೋಲ್ಟೇಜ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕೂತ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ನೀವು. ಬೈ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಯೂರ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಬೈ ಟ್ರಯಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎರರ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ಸ್. ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ದಿ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಟ್ರಯಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎರರ್ ಮೆಥಡ್. ಕಲಿಬೇಕು ನೀವೇ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಇಸ್ ಸಪ್ಲೈಡ್ ವಿತ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಬಟ್ ನೋ ಲೇಬಲ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಡಿಫೈನ್ಡ್. ಓಕೆ, ವಿ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಡಿಫೈನಿಂಗ್ ದಿ ಲೇಬಲ್ಸ್ ಓವರ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ರೈಟ್? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಥರ ನಾವು ಲೇಬಲ್ಸ್ನ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ, this label data, right? These are the labels. Okay, ಈ ಥರ ನಾವು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ತನ್ನಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ತಾನೇ ಅದು with help of the algorithm it has to learn, right? The algorithm itself observe the examples and recognize the patterns. ನೋಡಿ, it will understand by observation of the algorithms, right? Based on the principle of grouping. ಗ್ರೂಪಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ ಅದು. ಪ್ಯಾಟರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇದು ಆರೆಂಜ್ ಕಲರ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸಿ ಆರೆಂಜ್, ಗ್ರೀನು, ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಅಂತ ಅದು ಏನನ್ನೋದೇ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಡಸಂಟ್ ನೋ ವಾಟ್ ಕಲರ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಲರ್ನ್ ದಿ ಕಲರಿಂಗ್ಸ್, ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಕಲರಿಂಗ್ ಕಲ್ತು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಪ್ಯಾಟ್ರನ್ನ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಆ ಪ್ಯಾಟ್ರನ್ನ ಆರೆಂಜ್ ಕಲರ್ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಸೆಗ್ರಿಗೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಕಲರ್ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಸೆಗ್ರಿಗೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಟ್ರೈಂಗ್ ಟು ಡೂ ದಟ್ ಒನ್. ಓಕೆ, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಗ್ರೂಪಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ಡನ್ ಇನ್ ಬೇಸ್ ದಟ್ ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ದಿ ಸೇಮ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್. ಆರೆಂಜ್ ಕಲರ್ ಒಂದು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಕಲರ್ ಒಂದು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ರೆಡ್ ಕಲರ್ ಒಂದು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪ್ಯಾಟರ್ನ್. ಸೊ ಈ ಲೈನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಅದು ಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಆರೆಂಜ್ ಕಲರ್, ಆರೆಂಜ್ ಕಲರ್, ಆರೆಂಜ್ ಕಲರ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಒನ್ ಲೈನ್. ಇನ್ ದ ಅದರ್ ಲೈನ್ಸ್ green, 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 green. In the other line, red, 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 red. So that is how it has to make the patterns. Correct? Is that clear, Uday? Sneha, Mamta?
Yes.
Okay, I was discussing about the clustering analysis, isn't it? We are here only, no? Uday.
Slant supervisory.
Okay, is that clear? So unsupervised learning. Is it clear, no? Unsupervised learning. So we'll see the unsupervised learning, how the clustering will be happen, right? So in the unsupervised learning, it is trying to use the clustering dimensional reductions and data visualizations, right? So that is what we'll see how the clustering can be made in the unsupervised learning, right? So
Master.
one thing is,
Yes, sir.
okay. So one thing is that you have to understand the without having any assistance from your teacher, right? You are going to learn by itself. I'll give an example of the learning the textbook, right? Learning from the YouTube, learning from the NPTEL, learning from the Udemy course, right? That is what I taught on the transform, right? In the transform, you have to study the many things by your own itself, right? That is called the self-learning. That is we call it as self-learning. That is we known as the unsupervised learning. Okay. So the name itself says there is no supervisor or a teacher components, right? Without having the help of the teacher, without the help of any supervisor, you had to learn by yourself, right? So based on that, in the absence of supervisor of teacher is the most common kind of learning process, right? That is the self-instructions. So right, so here we see the process of self-instruction is based on the concept of trial and error methods. Okay, every time you have to see the trial and error methods. Okay, the program is
Slide ಇಲ್ಲ sir. Slide ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. Slide is sir.
okay, okay, 1 minute. it below? Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the supervised learning is clear, no? Unsupervised learning. Is that clear? So unsupervised learning. They, Mamta, Sneha.
Yes, sir.
See, unsupervised learning is without the assistance of anybody, it will try to learn by itself and give the corrective actions at the final stage, right? So that is makes a concept of trial and error methods. Okay, program is applied with the objects, but not labels are defined. Okay, so algorithm itself observe the example and recognize the patterns based on the principle of grouping. Grouping is done in the ways that similar objects form the same group. Okay, so when you talk okay, we'll see the clustering analysis, right? Clustering analysis aims to group the object into disjoint clusters are groups, right? Cluster analysis clusters the objects based on its attributes, right? So all the data objects of the partitions are similar in one aspects and vary from the data object in the other partition significantly, right? If you take the example of the coloring, isn't it? As I told that, if you have the example of the coloring, isn't it? As I told about the, you have the many points over here, isn't it? So we have the many points here, orange, green and red colors. Here also you have the orange, green and red color. Here also you have the orange, green with blue, isn't it? So here also you have the blue with red. Here also orange with blue. So now it will try to take the nearest points. It will try to take the nearest points. It will try to make the groupings. ಓಕೆ ಸೊ ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು 3-4 ಕಲರ್ಸ್ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಡ್ ಇದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಇದೆ, ಬ್ಲೂ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಗ್ರೂಪಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ದಟ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ಸ್. ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ನ ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಗೋ ಟು ದಟ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ. ದೆನ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ದ ಕ್ಲಸ್ಟರ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಬಿನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಡ್, ಇಸ್ಂಟ್ ಇಟ್? ಸೊ ಅದೇ ಥರ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಟೇಕ್ ದ ಅನದರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಏಮ್ಸ್ ಟು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ದ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್. ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಲ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಗ್ರೂಪಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತದೆ ಇಂಟು ಡಿಸ್ಜಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಕ್ಲಸ್ಟರ್ಸ್. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗ್ರೂಪಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಇಫ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಓವರ್ ಹಿಯರ್, isn't it? You want to group the red, green and yellow. Okay, so red, green and blue. So red, green and orange. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ, ಆರೆಂಜ್ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಡ್ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ ನೋಡಿ. ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಡ್ ಕಲರ್ ಆ ಗ್ರೂಪಲ್ಲಿ ಸೆಟ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಟೇಕ್ ದ ನಿಯರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್. It will also try to take the nearest point. If the color is, if you want to set in that group, isn't it? If the color is yellow over here, right? Yellow, then it will try to set in that group and it will try to understand that analysis, right? So that is what it will makes in the unsupervised learning, right? That is called the clustering. It will aims to group the objects into the disjoint clusters or groups. Analysis clusters object to based on its attributes. So, Andre, for example, you have seen the movies of this PK movie, no? ನೋಡಿದಿರಲ್ವಾ PK ಮೂವೀಸು? ದೇ, ಮಮತಾ ಅಂಡ್ ಸ್ನೇಹ, ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸೀನ್ ದಟ್ ಮೂವಿ.
No, sir.
See, that fellow is going to, that hero is going to ask, we want to buy the vegetables, right? On vegetables buy ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ we have to give the Indian currency, correct? Indian currency ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಗಾಂಧೀಜಿ ನೋಟ್ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? Yes or not? If you
Yes, sir.
if you take my example, you'll understand what the clustering analysis now. It will become very easier to understand. Same thing you have to implement in our model of your batteries also, right? So that fellow, that hero is going to buy the vegetables, right? So that vegetable person who is selling that vegetable, no, he wants the Indian currency of having the Gandhi notes. Gandhiji note ಇರೋದೇ ಬೇಕು ಅವನಿಗೆ, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? Then he accept that note is Indian currency. But ಇವನಿಗೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. He is trying to collect the images of the Gandhiji. Understand? He is trying to collect the images of the Gandhiji. All the notes ಎಲ್ಲ ಬುಕ್ಕಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಇಮೇಜು, ಮತ್ತೆ in the newspaper ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಇನ್ನೇನಿರುತ್ತೆ, some other in the some paper it will be there, right? So you will try to give that one. ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಲ ಕೊಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಅವನು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ದ ವೆಜಿಟೇಬಲ್ ಸೆಲ್ಲರ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಗಿವಿಂಗ್ ದ ವೆಜಿಟೇಬಲ್ ಟು ಹಿಮ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ದ ಕರೆನ್ಸಿ. ಎಸ್ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್? ಅದು ಕರೆನ್ಸಿ ಅಂತ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಯಾವಾಗ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಟ್ರೈಂಗ್ ಟು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ದ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್. ದಟ್ ಫೆಲೋ ಇಸ್ ಟ್ರೈಂಗ್ ಟು ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್, ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡಿಂಗ್ ದ ಕರೆನ್ಸಿ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹೌ ಫೈನಲಿ ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್ ದ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಕರೆನ್ಸಿ. ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಕರೆನ್ಸಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅವಾಗ. ಸೊ ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ವಿಲ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಗಿವ್ ದ ವೆಜಿಟೇಬಲ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ದ ಕ್ಲಸ್ಟರಿಂಗ್ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್. ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಲ ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. The user, these machines will try to understand the what user is actually giving. ನಾನು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಗ್ರೂಪಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಅದನ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಫಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಕೂಡ ಅದು ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಆಲ್ ದ ಡೇಟಾ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ ಇನ್ ಒನ್ ಆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್. ನೋಡಿ, ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಗಿವನ್ ದ ಫೋಟೋಸ್, ಇಸ್ಂಟ್ ಇಟ್? ಆ ಫೋಟೋಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ಬಟ್ ಅವ್ನು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ದುಡ್ಡು ಅಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಅಂಡ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡಿಂಗ್ ದ ವೆಜಿಟೇಬಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅಸ್. ವೈ? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಕರೆನ್ಸಿ ಓನ್ಲಿ. ಎಸ್ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್? ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಕರೆನ್ಸಿ. ಎಸ್ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್? ಅದೇನಾಗ್ತಿದೆ, ದಿಸ್ ಆಲ್ ದಿ ಡೇಟಾ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್, ಬಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ವೆರಿ ಸಿಮಿಲರ್. ಆ ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ ಆದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ಏನಾಗ್ತಿದೆ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೇರಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಲಿಟ್ಲ್ ಬಿಟ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್. ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಿ ಡೇಟಾ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಏನಾಗಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಫೋಟೋಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ, ಬಟ್ ಆ ಫೋಟೋಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿರಬೇಕು, ಕರೆನ್ಸಿ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಬುಕ್ಕಲ್ಲಿ, ನೋಟ್ಬುಕ್ಕಲ್ಲಿ ಇಮೇಜಸ್ ಫೋಟೋದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬಾರ್ದು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಮೇಜಸ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಇನ್ ದ ಕರೆನ್ಸಿ, ದೆನ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ದಟ್ ಮನಿ, ಇಸ್ಂಟ್ ಇಟ್? ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹೌ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಮಾಡೆಲ್ ಇಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡೋದು, ಅದರ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ ಇದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ಅಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, ಅನ್ಲೆಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಟೇಕ್ಸ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ ಡೇಟಾಸ್, ಅನ್ಲೆಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಟೇಕ್ಸ್ ದ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ದಿ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ patterns, right? So that is what it has to understand the that patterns properly, right? For example, if you take the clustering model of the student, right? ಈಗ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ನೇಮ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ನನಗೆ. ಓಕೆ, I don't know the student name also, right? I know only the his USN number and class. Okay, I'll go to the all the first class ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ. I'll go to the ask where this USN number student will be there. Then he will tell he in the next class. Okay, ಆ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಆ ಗ್ರೂಪಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗಲಿಲ್ಲ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ, ಆ ಗ್ರೂಪಲ್ಲಿ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. This fellow is this USN is under your class. Then he'll say no. Then I will go to the next class. So it means it will try to understand the analysis, try to analyze the objects. ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಲ ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಅನಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. Unless it get matched, no, then it will fit into the groups. So that is how the clustering analysis it will make. It will take the nearest point. ಹತ್ತಿರ ಇರೋ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ನ ಮಾತ್ರ ತಗೊಳ್ತದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ನೋಡಿ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ 1, ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ 2, ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ 3 ಹೋದೆ, 3 ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಹೋದೆ. 4th ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಐ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈಡ್ ದಟ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ಸ್ ವಿತ್ ದಟ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ USN ನಂಬರ್. ಐ ಗಾಟ್ ದಟ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ಆ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ನಾನು ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅದನ್ನು ನಾನು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತೀನಿ ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ದಿ ನಿಯರೆಸ್ಟ್. ಅದೇ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮ್ಸಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿದೆ, CS ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ಲಿ A section, B section, we have D section. There are 4 sections. ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಎದಲ್ಲಿ, ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಎದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಿದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಿದಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ಸಿದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ದೆನ್ ಐ ಗಾಟ್ ಇನ್ D. Yes or not? So a person class D dalli then it means that he is relevant to that in that group only. Means we are just analyzing the actual data. Now actual data ಸಿಗೋರ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಮಾಡಲೇಬೇಕು. ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಕ್ಲಸ್ಟರಿಂಗ್ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ನೋಡಿ, you can see now clustering analysis aims to group object into the disjoint clusters or groups. Okay, cluster analysis cluster object based on its attributes. Every time we will try to understand the attributes, right? So all the data object of the partitions are similar. ಒಂದೇ ತರ ನೋಡಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದೇ ತರ ಇದೆ. Class A, Class B, Class A, all are CS department only, right? Our USN will start with the CS only, correct? So ನಿಮಗೆ PE 25 EE ತರ ಅದೇ ತರ USN ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಪ್ಯಾಟರ್ನ್ ನಾನು ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡೋದು. ನಿಯರೆಸ್ಟ್ 4 ಹತ್ರ ಯಾವ್ದು ಇದೆ, 5 ಮತ್ತು 3 ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಎಸ್ ಅಣ್ಣ? ಸೊ 3 ಮತ್ತು 5 ದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಾನು ಪ್ರೆಡಿಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ. 3 ಮತ್ತು 5 in that object I want to group the properly. 3 ಮತ್ತು 5 ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ I want to see the exact object. So that is, it is very similar, yes or not, in some aspects, and vary from the data objects. So only data is with respect to the name, 3 having the different name and 5 may having a different name, which is very close to the number 4, isn't it? So on the other object, that is partitions are significant. That is how the clustering analysis will make, right? Some of the example of the clusterings are segmentation of regions of interest in the image. Okay, as I told, the image, right? Similar image ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, or detections of the abnormal growth of the medical images. ಒಂದು ಪ್ಯಾಟರ್ನ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಇಫ್ ಟೇಕ್ ದ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಕಿಡ್ನಿ ಸ್ಟೋನ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಬ್ರೈನ್ ಹಿಮರೇಜ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಮಿಷಿನ್ಸ್ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಸೊ ಈ ಥರ ಆದರೆ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಡೂ ಇಟ್, ರೈಟ್? ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾಡೆಲಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಆ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಡ್ಯಾಮೇಜ್ ಆಗಿರೋ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ನ ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಲೋ ಅಥವಾ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಸೆಲ್ಲೋ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಗ್ರೂಪಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಬಂತು ಅಂದರೆ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್, ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಬಿಲಾಂಗ್ಸ್ ಟು ದಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಫಿಟ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ದಟ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ಸ್, ದೆನ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ದ ಪೇಷಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ದಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ ಸೆಲ್ ನಾವು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ, we have given that attributes, right? We have based on that attribute only it will try to cluster the models. Okay, image agirbodu, anything it may be, signature agirbodu, anything, database, genetical database, everything it will try to collect. Okay, I hope it is clear for the cluster analysis under the unsupervised learning. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Uday, Mamta, Sneha?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is actually the cluster analysis. ನೋಡಿ, ಈ cluster analysis ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು the example, the cluster algorithm takes the set of dogs and cats images and group it as the two clusters. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎರಡು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅದು. ಸಿ ಒಂದು ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಇದೊಂದು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ಇದೊಂದು ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ದ ಕ್ಲಸ್ಟರಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಗೋರಿಥಮ್ಸ್. ಅಲ್ಗೋರಿಥಮ್ನ ನಾವು ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಡೆವಲಪ್ ದ ಅಲ್ಗೋರಿಥಮ್ಸ್ ಟು ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ದ ಆಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ and they design the attributes properly. Right, it can be observed that the samples of belongings to the cluster are similar. Nodi, all are belongs to the animals only. There is no human beings, there is no plants. Correct? There is no non-living things. All are living things only. All are like belongs to the categories of the dogs and what is the cat, isn't it? So these are having the belongs to the category of animals only. But these are not human beings. See, that is what it is understanding first. ಅಂದರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ನಾವು ಟ್ರೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಲ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಟ್ರೈನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಟ್ರಯಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎರರ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ಸ್. ನೋಡಿ, ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಲ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಡೇಟಾನ ತಗೊಂಡು ಟ್ರಯಲ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಮತ್ತು ಎರರ್ ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ, ಟ್ರಯಲ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಟ್ ಆನ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಲರ್ನ್ ದ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್, ರೈಟ್? ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಟ್ ಆನ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗೋ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಐ ಟಾಕ್ಡ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಅನ್ಸೂಪರ್ವೈಸ್ಡ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್. ಕ್ಲಸ್ಟರಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಅಸೋಸಿಯೇಷನ್ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಡೈಮೆನ್ಷನಲ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ರಿಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ದ ಎರರ್ಸ್. ಅದೇ ಥರ ನಾವು ಡೇಟಾನ ಕ್ಲಸ್ಟರಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಆಲ್ ದಿ ಡೇಟಾ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಅಸೋಸಿಯೇಟೆಡ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಪ್ಯಾಟರ್ನ್ಸ್, ದೆನ್ ಗೋ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ರಿಡ್ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ದ ಎರರ್ಸ್ in the unsupervised learning. Okay, so that is what you have to see in the unsupervised learning. So unsupervised learning alli, that is what I told you, the clustering algorithms are set of the dogs and cats are images grouped into two cluster dogs and cats. It can observe that the samples are belonging to a clusters are similar and samples are different. Nodi, clusters are similar, you can see the clusters are similar and samples are different radically across the clusters. So that is what it has to make the grouping, because you are not given any kinds of the labeled over here. ನೀವು ಲೇಬಲಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಅದೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಇಟ್ ಟ್ರೈಂಗ್ ಟು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ದ ಆಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ಇಟ್ ಟ್ರೈಂಗ್ ಟು ಅನಲೈಸ್ ದ ಕ್ಲಸ್ಟರಿಂಗ್ಸ್. Okay, so you can see in the unsupervised learning, right? If you have a customer data without the labels, the algorithm can group similar customer based on the purchase behavior, useful or segmentation marketings. Right, so I will give the one more example before understanding this example, right? Because the same thing will apply in our batteries also, your fuel cells also, and the renewable integration, renewable, non-renewable, allu kuda apply madlebekagutte. I'll show them your assignments also after this, okay? And we'll work on the hands-on with the softwares also, right? So and for example, if you have the robots, okay, clustering models nodi ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ರೆಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂತ, ಓಕೆ, ಮಾಡೆಲ್ನ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂತ, ಓಕೆ, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಸ್ಟೋರಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ಸ್. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ಲಸ್ಟರಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ ರೋಬೋಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ರೋಬೋಟಿಗೆ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ನೀವು ಅನ್ಸೂಪರ್ವೈಸ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಓಕೆ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ದಿ ಅನ್ಸೂಪರ್ವೈಸ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ರೋಬೋಟ್ ವೆನ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಮೂವಿಂಗ್, ರೈಟ್, ಸಡನ್ಲಿ ಆಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್, ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮುಂದೆ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ, ಅದೇನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಡ್ಯಾಶ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ, ಈ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ವೆರಿ ಇಷ್ಟು ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಬಂದಾಗ, ನಾನು ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾಗ 1-2 ಮೀಟರ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ 1 ಮೀಟರ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ 0.5 ಸೆಂಟಿಮೀಟರ್ ಗ್ಯಾಪಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಾಗ ನಾನು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಕೊಲೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಡ್ಯಾಶ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಯಾವಾಗ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅದು ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ದಟ್ ಡೇಟಾಸ್, ಓಕೆ. ಆ ಡೇಟಾ ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಪ್ಯಾಟರ್ನ್ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡ್ಯಾಶ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, ಪಕ್ಕ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಗೋ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಆರ್ ರೈಟ್ ಸೈಡ್, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಡ್ಯಾಶ್ ಟು ದಟ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್. ಸಿ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ದಿ ಕ್ಲಸ್ಟರ್. ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಫಸ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಎರರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತು, ಫಸ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ಎರರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತು. First time it was made the errors, isn't it? First time it was made the errors. You can see in the unsupervised learning, first time it was made the errors, isn't it? Because of the trial, first time error ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ರೋಬೋಟು, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಟಚ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಲೆಫ್ಟಿಗೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ರೈಟಿಗೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ಡ್ಯಾಶ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆ ದೇರ್ ಈಸ್ ಸರ್ಟನ್ ಅಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಓವರ್ ದೇರ್, ಐ ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಗೋ ಎಂಟರ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ದ ಅಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಕಲ್. ಸೊ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ಡೇಟಾ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಆ ಕಡೆ ಈ ಕಡೆ ನೋಡಿ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಅದು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ಸೂಪರ್ವೈಸ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲಸ್ಟರಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ ರೆಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಿ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ದಿ ಅನ್ಸೂಪರ್ವೈಸ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್. Okay, so this is one of the best example, right? You can see the example over here. If you have a customer data without labels, ನೋಡಿ ಒಂದು ಕಸ್ಟಮರ್ ಡೇಟಾ ಇದೆ, ನೀವೇನೋ ಅಮೆಝಾನಲ್ಲಿ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಝೊಮ್ಯಾಟೋದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೋ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಸೊ ಪ್ರತಿ ಸರ್ ಲೈಕಿಂಗ್ ದ ಚಾಕ್ಲೇಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕೇಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್, ಎಸ್ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್? ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ದ ಬಿಹೇವಿಯರ್. ಕೇಕಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಕೇಕ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಸೆಗ್ರಿಗೇಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಸೆಗ್ರಿಗೇಟ್ ದ ಕೇಕ್ಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ದ ಕಸ್ಟಮರ್ ಬಿಹೇವಿಯರ್. ಸೊ ವಿತೌಟ್ ಲೇಬಲಿಂಗ್ಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹೌ here also you have to understand the algorithms. So ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ interpretation ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. You will taking raw data, isn't it? Will try to interpret. That is it will try to develop the in the algorithm model training ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಒಂದು algorithm ನ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ. It will try to process and will try to give the outputs with the different, right? With labeled along with the attributes ಕೂಡ ಏನು ಮಾಡೋದು, finally it will try to give the outputs. ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಏನೇನೋ segregate ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ. So that is called the unsupervised learning. Means model getting trained by itself by learning the algorithms. ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಲ ಟ್ರಯಲ್ ಎರರ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಬಿಹೇವಿಯರ್ನ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ದಿ ಕ್ಲಸ್ಟರಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಸೆಗ್ಮೆಂಟೇಷನ್, ರೈಟ್? ಅಂಡ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಗ್ರೂಪಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ ಡೇಟಾ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್, ಕಸ್ಟಮರ್ ಆರ್ ಇಮೇಜಸ್. ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ ಡೇಟಾ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಗ್ರೂಪಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಅನಾಮಲಿ ಡಿಟೆಕ್ಷನ್, ಸ್ಪಾಟ್ ಅನ್ಯೂಜುವಲ್ ಪ್ಯಾಟರ್ನ್ ಇದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ಅದು ನಿಯರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಪ್ಯಾಟರ್ನ್ ಒಂದು ಡಾಟ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕೂಡ ಪಕ್ಕದ ಡಾಟಿಗೆ ಅದು ನಿಯರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟೇಕ್ ದ ಔಟ್ಲೈಯರ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಡೇಟಾ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಇಫ್ ಟೇಕ್ ದ ಸರ್ಕಲ್, ಸೆಂಟ್ರಾಯ್ಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಡಯಾಮೀಟರ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ 2 ಸಲ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅದು. ಓ ದೆನ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಸೇ ದಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಾಯ್ಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್ ಮಚ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೆಂಟಿಮೀಟರ್ ಅಥವಾ ಮಿಲಿಮೀಟರ್ದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ರೇಡಿಯಸ್ನ ಕೊಡುತ್ತದೆ. ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ 2 ಸಲ ಡಿಟೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಅನಾನಮಸ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಡಿಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಪಾಟ್. ಸರ್ಕಲ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಸೆಂಟ್ರಾಯ್ಡ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಆ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಾಯ್ಡ್ ಹೌದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಕನ್ಫರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅದು. 2 ಸಲ ಕನ್ಫರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಪ್ಯಾಟರ್ನ್. ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗೋ ಅರೌಂಡ್ ದಿ ಸರ್ಕಂಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಸರ್ಕಲ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಟೈಮ್. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಮೇಕ್ ದ ಮ್ಯಾಥಮೆಟಿಕಲ್ ಮಾಡೆಲಿಂಗ್, ದೆನ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ದ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಾಯ್ಡ್ ಈಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ ದ ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸರ್ಕಲ್. ಓಕೆ, ಆ ಥರ ಅದು ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, learning, it will try to learn by itself. Okay, so that is how this can be used in the various applications, right? Semi supervised learning is very hybrid of these two. Okay, the reinforced learning is also similar, that it will try to agents that can be human, animals, robots, or any independency program, right? It will try to reward the agent to gain the experience. The more and more it will try to understand, the learning trains an agent to make the sequence of decisions through the trial and error methods, right? So reinforced learning is more advanced than these two, right? It will try to learn the trains of an agent to make the sequence of decisions through trial and errors. ಹೆಂಗೆ ಅನ್ಸೂಪರ್ವೈಸ್ಡ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಟ್ರಯಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎರರ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೋ ಅದನ್ನ ಇವಾಗ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ, ಅದರ ಡೇಟಾಸ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಟ್ರೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತಾ ಇದೆ, ಅದೇ ಡೇಟಾನು ಟ್ರೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತಿದೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ರೋಬೋಟ್ಸಿಗೆ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಇವಾಗ ನಾವು ಫ್ರಮ್ ಅನ್ಸೂಪರ್ವೈಸ್ಡ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಇಂದ ರೈನ್ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ರೋಬೋಟ್ಸ್ ಯಾವಾಗ ಡ್ಯಾಶ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು, ಓ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎರರ್ ಇದೆ, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಅಬ್ಸ್ಟೆಕಲ್ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಏನಾಯ್ತು ಅದು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಗೋ ಟು ದಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗೋ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಆರ್ ರೈಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ರೈನ್ಫೋರ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಇಟ್ will try to understand the agent interacts with the environment, receives the feedback in the form of rewards. ನೋಡಿ ಫೀಡ್ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ತಗೊಳ್ತದೋ, ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಹೋಯ್ತು ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಡ್ಯಾಶ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಲ್ವಾ, ಈ ಸಲ ಫೀಡ್ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದೆಯೋ ನಾನು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಟಚ್ ದಟ್ ಆರ್ ಹಿಟ್ ದಟ್ ಅಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಕಲ್, ದಟ್ ರೋಬೋಟ್ಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ರೈನ್ಫೋರ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್. ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಅಡ್ವಾನ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಟ್ರಯಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಎರರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ದ ಮೋರ್ ಅಡ್ವಾನ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಏಜೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ತನ್ನದೇ ಏಜೆಂಟ್ಸ್ನ ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಏಜೆಂಟ್ ಇಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ವಿತ್ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಯು ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ರಿಸೀವ್ ದ ಫೀಡ್ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಟೈಮ್ in the form of rewards or penalties. So you say the penalties, ನೋಡಿ ಪೆನಾಲ್ಟೀಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಟಚ್ ಆಗೋದು, ಅಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಟಚ್ ಆಗೋದು, ಅದು ಬಡ್ದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ರೋಬೋಟ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಬ್ರೇಕೇಜ್ ವಿಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್, ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್? ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಟಚ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ ಅದು, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ಇಷ್ಟು ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಹಿಟ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ದ ಅಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಮೀನ್ ಅದರ್ ವೇಸ್. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಮೀನ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಪೆನಾಲ್ಟೀಸ್, ರಿವಾರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಮೀನ್, ರೈಟ್? ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಲರ್ನ್ ದ ಆಪ್ಟಿಮಲ್ ಆಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಓವರ್ ದ ಟೈಮ್. ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಲ ಆಕ್ಷನ್ ಏನು ತಗೋಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ದ ರೈನ್ಫೋರ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್, ರೈಟ್? So that is, the reward can be positive or negative punishment. When the rewards are more, the behavior gets reinforced and learning becomes possible. So ಆ ಥರ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಲ it will try to understand the obstacles where the obstacle has been there. Okay, that is called reinforced learning, right? So reinforced learning usually it is used in the gaming also. Robots ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ನೋಡಿ, it is in the robotics also. Enable the robots to perform the task autonomously. ತನ್ನಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ತಾನೇ ಅದು ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಕಲಿಬೇಕು ರೋಬೋಟ್ಸ್. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಆಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಬಾರ್ದು, ಅದು ಟಚ್ ಆಗಬಾರ್ದು. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಟಚ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಬಾರ್ದು, ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ಗೋ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಆರ್ ರೈಟ್ ಸೈಡ್. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ದ reinforced learning. Okay, this is the one of the best example for the application of the, if you apply in the robots, no? So that is how the robots will understand it will try to analyze by itself. When it is reaching to the obstacle, it will not touch the obstacle, it will not collide the obstacle, it will go left or right side. Okay, so that is called the reinforced learning. Okay, so this is based on this only we have to use our the concept. Okay, I hope this machine learning concept is very clear to all of you. Is that clear? Supervised, unsupervised, supervised learning as well as reinforced learning.
Yes, sir.
So is it clear, Uday, Rashmi, Sneha?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
so ಇದೇ ತರ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ ನಮ್ಮ model ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕಲ್ model ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡೋಣ. Okay, we'll try to learn this. Alright, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಬ್ಯಾಟರಿ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು PVL ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. I will show the all the assignments, okay, today. So that is what else you can do, how to use with the machine learning and all, because without having the basics of fundamentals of the machine learning, no, you cannot make use to learn that softwares or tools. Okay, so it will become very difficult for you to learn. Okay, ಈಗ ನೀವು it can go for the your supervised learning or unsupervised learning, try to develop the reinforced learning also, right? Supervised learning, unsupervised learning ಎಲ್ಲ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಅನ್ಕೊಂತೀನಿ. I give the very basic examples, right? So with respect to this, we have to create the models, right? ನಮ್ಮ models ನ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ನಾವು, we have to try to develop the models, isn't it? So with the help of that models only, we'll try to get the outputs, right? Whether the battery conditions, what is the battery condition at this stage, right? What is the battery condition of the after 2 years? Okay, that is what the predictions we have to make. Okay, now hingi weather forecasting prediction ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ using the fuzzy logic, right? ಅದೇ ತರ ನಮ್ಮ machine learning is also we are going in the deep learning also, we are going to the clustering models. So based on that, we are predicting the models of our batteries. Okay, so now I request everyone to please open your Google page. You have a laptop now with you, Mamta, Rashmi, Sneha?
Yes, sir.
Mamta, do you have laptop now? Or else if you have Google also, your in phone also, you can try to open it, no problems. Rashmi? Rashmi, are you there? Okay, Sneha?
Yes, sir.
So try to open the Google in your mobile or a laptop. Uday?
Yes, sir. Yes.
ನಿಮ್ಮ ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ಟಾಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಒಂದು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿ, ಗೂಗಲ್ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಯು ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಓಪನ್ ದ
Yes, sir.
ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so there you can open the Google Colabs. Try to open the Google Colab notebook. ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ Google Colab notebook? Have you opened it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Along with me the hands on. Okay, please do along with me the hands on. Everyone is open now? Your Google Colabs ಬಂದಿದೆಯಾ? Have you got it now, everyone, this page?
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್.
ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಾ?
ಹಾ ಸರ್.
Okay. So now this is actually the open source, okay, where you can have you can do the online also, right? So there you can have the go to the file. Okay, open a new note drive, note book in the drive. Have you opened it now?
Yes, sir. It's there.
So now in these questions, we have the for Uday have given the question like a AI-assisted batteries energy storage system for renewable energy integration. This is actually assignments, okay? So we'll share the assignments by tomorrow, okay? This is not finalized yet, okay? So we have to make the little bit of modifications. That is what the student has to find out the what is the failure in the actually in the objectives, right? So that is what I am going to include the failure in the objectives. ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ಸ್ನ ಒಂದು ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಐ ಬೀನ್ ಆ್ಯಡೆಡ್ ದ ಫೇಲ್ಯೂರ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ ಯುವರ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಓಕೆ? See, that is what the failure scenario. I want to see the failure scenario in the your problem statement and the objectives, okay? So failure scenario I have not mentioned here, okay? Please go through everyone. Is it visible, no?
ಹಾ ಸರ್. ಎಸ್ ಸರ್.
ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಈಗ ನಿಮ್ಮದು ಒಂದು ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ನ ವಿಲ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಯುವರ್ ಪಿ ಬಿ ಎಲ್, ಓಕೆ, ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ನ ನೋಡೋಣ ಏನೇನಿದೆ ಅಂತ, ಓಕೆ? ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ ಐ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಆ್ಯಡೆಡ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್, ಓಕೆ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಫಾರ್ Uday Kumar, okay? So only the failure have been given, okay? For the rest of the things I have to provide and then it will get finalized, okay? Everything is done. Almost it is done. They made me to insist the provide only the failure scenario, right? That has not included along with the IEEE. Right? They have made, they showed me to add some IEEE also, right? And from the textbook, ಯಾವ textbook refer ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಯಾವ papers refer ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದೆಲ್ಲ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ actually mention ಮಾಡಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ದೇ ಗಿವನ್ ದ ಸಜೆಷನ್ ಫಾರ್ ಮಿ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ಸ್ ಐ ಆ್ಯಡೆಡ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಉದಯ್. ಸೊ ಅದೇ ಥರ ನಾನು ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಾಳೆನ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಪಬ್ಲಿಷ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಓಕೆ? ಟುಮಾರೋ ಐಲ್ ಗಿವ್ ಇಟ್, ಓಕೆ? ವಿಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಆನ್ ದಿ ಓನ್ಲಿ ದ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಯುವರ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ಸ್, ರೈಟ್? Okay, so AI-assisted battery energy storage system for renewable energy integration, right? We have to assess the battery energy storage and in this the conventional, that is non-conventional energy resources, right? What is the objective actually? Objective ಏನಿದೆ ನಮಗೆ? We have to see an intelligent battery energy storage for stabilizing the renewable energy fluctuations in the microgrids. Okay, there should not have any instability, right? So energy storage ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ನಾವು there should have equal charging and equal discharge. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಅನ್ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಆಯಿತು ಅಂದರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ರಿನ್ಯೂಬಲ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಗ್ರಿಡ್ಡಿಂದ ಸ್ಟೋರೇಜ್ ಇರೋದು ಬೇರೆ ಲೋಡಿಗೆ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ದೇರ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ದಿ ಫ್ಲಕ್ಚುಯೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಲೂಪ್ಸ್, ಓಕೆ, ಅಥವಾ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಿ ಪವರ್ ಸಪ್ಲೈ. ದಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್, ರೈಟ್? So that is what our objective, that you have to monitor properly, right? So problem statement is that go through the renewable and renewable energy resource, right, and exhibit the intermediate outputs, right? ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ನೀವು ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ರಿನ್ಯೂಬಲ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ತೊಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಅಂದರೆ ಸೋಲಾರಿಂದ ಪವರ್ ಜನರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವಿಂಡಿಂದ ಪವರ್ ಜನರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಆ ಡೇಟಾನ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ದ ಡೇಟಾ. ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್, ರೈಟ್? ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಡೆವಲಪ್ ದ AI based assisted battery energy storage architect, so capable of maintaining the voltage. ಸೊ ವೋಲ್ಟೇಜ್ನ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸ್ಟೆಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಲೋಡ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಕೂಡ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮೇಕ್ಸ್ ದ ಆಪ್ಟಿಮೈಸೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಇನ್ ಸ್ಮಾರ್ಟ್ ಗ್ರಿಡ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ದಟ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ಡೂ, ರೈಟ್? ಹಿ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ದ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿ ಡೇಟಾಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ಎಲ್ಲ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿ ಡೇಟಾಸ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ನೀವು, ಡೇಟಾಸ್ನ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ರೈಟ್? ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸಿ ದ ಇಂಟೆಲಿಜೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಸ್. ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಡೆವಲಪ್ ದ ಇಂಟೆಲಿಜೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಸ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ದ AI, ಆರ್ಟಿಫಿಷಿಯಲ್ ಇಂಟೆಲಿಜೆನ್ಸಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಸೆಟ್ ಆಫ್ AI ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಬ್ಸೆಟ್ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಮೆಷಿನ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ತೊಗೋಬೇಕು. ಮಿಷಿನ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಅನ್ಸೂಪರ್ವೈಸ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅಥವಾ ಸೂಪರ್ವೈಸ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ದಟ್ ಆರ್ ರೈನ್ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಆದರೂ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಸೊ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡೋದು, ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಡೂ, ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಆಲ್ ದಿ ಡೇಟಾಸ್. ಎಸ್ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್. ಇಫ್ ದ ಸೂಪರ್ವೈಸ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋದಾಗ ನೀವು ಡೇಟಾ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಲೇಬಲ್ಡ್ ರೈಟ್, ಅಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಏನು ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ಪ್ರಿಡಿಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಬಟ್ ಅನ್ಸೂಪರ್ವೈಸ್ಡ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಥರ ಅಲ್ಲ, ವಿ ಆರ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ದ ಡೇಟಾಸ್, ವಿ ಆರ್ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡಿಂಗ್ ದ ಡೇಟಾ ರೈಟ್. By the trial and error methods, we'll try to give the outputs. After learning the trial and error methods, we'll try to give the outputs and make the grid tube more stable. Okay, so that is what you have to do. You have to compare the lithium versus sodium batteries. ಒಂದೇ ಬ್ಯಾಟರಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡೋ ಹಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. Is that Uday? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Need not to study on the one batteries. Okay, ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬ್ಯಾಟರೀಸ್ ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಲಿಥಿಯಂ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಅಥವಾ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಟೇಕ್ ದ ಸೋಡಿಯಂ ಆಲ್ಸೋ, ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಟೇಕ್ ದ ಫ್ಯೂಯಲ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಆ ಥರ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬ್ಯಾಟರಿನ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ಇಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲೈಸ್ಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಆಫ್ ದಿ BSS. ಅಂದರೆ BSS ಎಲ್ಲ ಬ್ಯಾಟರೀಸ್ ಏನಾಗಬೇಕು, it should be at one point. Okay, it should be one point, or else it may be distributed across the various. Okay, so based on that different scenario, right, you have to analyze, make the comparison with the different batteries conditions. Okay, what is the evaluations you have to make? See the life of the batteries. So battery life na even ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಡೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಉಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೆ, what is the state of discharge, state of health and state of charge. Okay, so based on that decide the life of the batteries. Okay, energy density you have to check, and also see the efficiency, right? Efficiency I already told, output by inputs, right? That is what in yesterday's sessions I explained about the efficiency, right? And decide the AI predicting what is the rank priority. We are just giving the priority for the ranking, right? So ಯಾವ technique na use ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂಗಿದ್ರೆ ನಾನು to get the better results, right? You can go for the AI based. Okay, so fuzzy based it will falls under the rule based also, right? Fuzzy logic controller is one of the techniques where it will try to develop the models. ಒಂದು model develop ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಲ ಅದೇನೇನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಎವ್ರಿ ಟೈಮ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ದ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್ ದ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ಸ್ ಬೈ ದಿ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಲಿಂಗ್ವಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ದಿ ಲಿಂಗ್ವಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ಸ್ ವೇರ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್, ದಿಸ್ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ವಾಟ್ ದ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಗಿವಿಂಗ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಟೈಮ್. ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿ ತೊಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಸೋಲರಿಗೆ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿ ತೊಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ವಿಂಡಿ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿ ತೊಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಯು ಆರ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಬೋತ್ ದಿ ಗ್ರಿಡ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಚೆಕಿಂಗ್ ದ ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಆ ಗ್ರಿಡ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಲ ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್ಸ್ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಇನ್ಸ್ಟೆಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಯಾವಾಗ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಯಾಕೆ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟೆಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಕೂಡ ಯು ಟು ಮಾನಿಟರ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಲಿ. ದೆನ್ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ಸೈಡ್ ದ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್. Okay, we try to make the analysis by collecting all the datas. ಪ್ರತಿ ಡೇಟಾಸ್ನ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಲ ಡೇಟಾನ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ರೈಟ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಡೆವಲಪ್ ದ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ಸ್, ರೈಟ್. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಪ್ರಿಡಿಕ್ಷನ್, ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ದ ಪ್ರಿಡಿಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ಸ್, right? So you have to make the AI based prediction control for your actual given models. Okay, or else you can go for the fuzzy logic control also, right? So that is what you have to do it. So in this case, the thing is that you actually what you are supposed to do, you have to see the data interpretations, right? You have to see the data interpretation and the troubleshooting. So what is the problem that is occurring? Okay, just 1 minute. Okay, Uday, we have to see the here in the problem statement. Okay, ಏನೇನು chances are there? What is the scenario we need to study, right? We have to see the what are the scenarios in the failure of the battery conditions, right? So during the cloudy weather and the sudden load increases, suddenly load change ಆದಾಗ ಅಥವಾ weather change ಆದಾಗ, weather change ಆದರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? Sometimes the battery will not charge. If there is a change in the weather with respect to during the night time, solar ಇಂದ ಏನಾಗ್ತಿದೆ? Battery charge ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, correct? Wind is there but little bit, okay? So suddenly load is increased. ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? There is a chances of failure in the batteries. So battery doesn't have the backup to give that much of power, right? So that is what you have to see the study the failure conditions also. Okay, so that is what ಅವಾಗ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? AI forecasting ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಒಂದು algorithm ನ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು that will underestimate the load demands and overestimate the solar power generations. Okay, that is what it will try to make use of the, as a result, once you get that model, no, once you get that algorithm, no, it will try to give the battery state of charge drop below the minimum operating limits, and also it will try to give the bus voltage that is fluctuate significantly, and also it will try to provide the curtailment in the increases. Renewable power curtailment ಅಂದ್ರೆ renewable ಯಾವಾಗ ಕಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, okay, ಯಾವಾಗ increase ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, there is a disconnections in the generation from the renewable energy resources. So all the data can be forecasted in a very easier way. Okay, so critical load ಯಾವಾಗ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? It has to experience the critical load also. Means the prediction model we require the prediction model, right? We can have the clustering models also, right? And voltage sag ಯಾವಾಗ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? ಯಾವಾಗ rise in the voltage, or when there is a voltage sag and swell, right? That is what you have to make the predictions, right? So what the student has to do, job is to do the root cause, okay? Forecast the errors ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೀನಿ AI model ಅಲ್ಲಿ, okay? That is what I told you, know, that regression analysis, right? There have to make the forecast of the AI models. Okay, inaccurate SOC estimations. Yelli it is not giving the exact values of the state of charge. Adinna kuda estimate ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. And delay battery response. Sometimes the battery is not discharging properly, right? Sometimes the battery is not charging properly with respect to the equal balancing of the batteries. Adu kuda ನೀವು clean ಆಗಿ monitor ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. That is those are the root causes, right? So like that you have to see about the analyze with the system impact. So from that, what is happening? There is instability in the voltage. You have to see what is the voltage has been occurred, what is the voltage profile if this thing is happens, right? And you have to see the energy management also, which is making more inefficient. Okay, so ನಿಮಗೆ reduction in the voltage instability ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, battery ಇದು stress ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬೀಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ because overloading of the from the load side, and also renewable energy ಏನಾಗಿದೆ? Curtailment ಆಗಿದೆ. And moreover, there should be increase in the battery level, monitoring of the battery level also should be made properly. There should have the efficiency. Yes, inefficient ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಕೂಡ ನೀವು analysis ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. Okay, so those are the system impact, right? So what is the corrective action you have to take? What is the corrective actions you have to go? Try to train the AI forecasting models, right? ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಡೇಟಾ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಕ್ಲೀನಾಗಿ ಟ್ರೈನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Unsupervised learning, okay? Train the data properly, okay? And make the adaptive algorithms. One algorithm develop ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಯಾವುದು? State of charge estimation, right? So you have to develop the one algorithms where it will try to analyze the various inputs. If this is this condition, what else it has to do, right? And try to develop the models, the predictive control, that is MPC, model predictive controls ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ, okay? So that is what the real time fault detection mechanisms. ಅದರಿಂದ ನಾವು ಏನು ಮಾಡೋದು? You can just overcome, right? From that we just can overcome the our actual results, okay? So that is what the detection modeling has to be made, right? The fault detection model ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. Is that clear? So after that, what you have to do? You have to see the validate, right? Root cause ಆಗಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅನಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಕ್ಷನ್ ತಗೊಂಡು you have to validate your improvements, right? So you have to compare the performance before and after implementations, corrective measures. ಮುಂಚೆ ಯಾವ ತರ ಆಗಿತ್ತು, ಬ್ಯಾಟರಿ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ಏನಿತ್ತು, root cause, from the root cause and the failure of the batteries, right? And also analyzing the system impact and what the predictive proposed corrective actions have been taken, right? So those should be valid with comparing with the previous and the past implementation, right? And provide the exact corrective measures. That is what you have to do in your assignment, okay? Okay, these are the textbooks I have given for you to go through that, okay? And also these are the various IEEE papers, right? Artificial intelligence application in the battery energy storage. Then click ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು, for example, if you go with this, no, in the IEEE access. So go through it and try to see the different types of the papers which is available in the IEEE access, okay? See, like this you will get the AI with intelligence energy management system. Okay, try to take these papers. Okay, try to learn from the with different resources, right? The solar and wind. Okay, ಇದರ ನೀವು paper ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು download ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು try to see the development they have been made. Okay, and try to download this paper. What are the papers I have given over there? Try to download all the paper and try to go through it and try to develop the models and get me the corrective measures, right, for the predicting the models of your batteries, right, for the making the load balance and also making the predictions of the battery management systems. Okay, so this is what you have to do in the assignment number 1. So is that clear, Uday?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So if you have any queries, you can come at the any weekends. Okay, once you start your assignments. Okay, we'll discuss more on that. So in this sessions, we cannot have a lot of discussion because I have to discuss with the others assignment also, right? So ಒಬ್ರದ್ದು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಇನ್ ಡೆಪ್ತ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ನೀವು ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಕಮ್ ಅಟ್ ಎನಿ ಟೈಮ್. ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಅವೈಲೇಬಲ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ 5 ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಇನ್ ದ ವೀಕೆಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಅವೈಲೇಬಲ್. ಸೊ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಕಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಸ್ಕ್ ಮೀ ಇಫ್ ಯು ನಾಟ್ ಫಾಲೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಯುವರ್ ಅಸೈನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ಸಮ್ novelties in your assignments. That is what I am expecting. After learning, you should do something else. Okay, it should not based on the existing projects. Okay, try to develop certain algorithms because you have the concept of the machine learning, right? So with respect to that, you try to develop the certain different kinds of the models, right? The best models you have to get and get me the corrective actions from your actual models, right? So like that, you can go for example, ಇವಾಗ ನೀವು machine learning ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು I just show you the colabs, isn't it? Where we are actually, let us see this. Okay, colab research google.com ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, I have the certain data already taken, right? So colabs I have gone a new notebook drive. Okay, so there I will give certain the small programs. Okay, so I have a certain small program, right? So this is actually my programs. Okay, so I'll give all these kinds of the programs. I want to check the available energy, right? Available energy I want to check. Right, this is my programs. I will give it to the and the colabs, Google colabs. Okay. Okay, all right. So I earlier already given that cells. Okay, cell data is already given. I hope it is there. Okay, you try to execute the this one in your colabs. Okay, is it visible now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you can see execution is also happening. Okay, and meanwhile it will take much time. Okay, let us go with others. So try to develop certain kinds of the Python programming, right, without giving any syntax and all, right? It is very easier in Python as compared to C and C++. All right, so what you have to do, please go to the data sets because I want to data of the batteries, right? So ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, please open the, if you have the Google, please open the Google. Open ಮಾಡಿದಿರಲ್ವಾ everyone? Or you can take the screenshot of the links which I'm just typing over here. Okay, you can take the screenshot. So Kaggle, Kaggle Kaggle datasets. Okay, so this is machine learning projects. Find open datasets and machine learning projects. So click on that. Okay, so you have to create your accounts. Okay, you have to create your accounts. We'll go to the new datasets. If you have data, you can upload it. Okay, or else you can go for the collecting the new data, right? So I have already the battery data sets, right? I will try to download these my battery data sets. All right, is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please note down that link. Are you following now, everyone? Sneha, Mamta. Rashmi.
Yes, sir.
ಓಕೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು ಕಾರ್ಗಿಲ್ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ವೇರ್ ಇದಲ್ವಾ ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನೀವು ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಓಕೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಡೇಟಾಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ದ ರೆಡಿ ಡೇಟಾಸ್ ಆರ್ ಎಲ್ಸ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಗೋ ಫಾರ್ ಫೈಂಡಿಂಗ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಡೇಟಾಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ನೀವು ಡೇಟಾನ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಓಕೆ ಸೊ 1 minute okay. See here I have the data right. If you go to the battery data sets, now here, your work, okay, and try to download the your battery data sets. So I will download the data sets over here in the zip file. It is getting downloaded. It is under progress. So once you get the data set, no, then you have to go to the actual of your data set by collecting the this model. Okay, so you'll get the this battery aging cells and the old cells as well as the new cells data it will give. Okay, so I have the data of aged cells. Okay, so I will go here, then I will go with the aged data cells. These are the experimental data which have been collected. Okay, you can upload your data in the Kaggle, or else if you have the data, so you can download it for the making analysis of your battery management. Okay, so this data set is available now. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಈ ಡೇಟಾ ಸೆಟ್ ನ ನೀವು ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಲ ದಿಸ್ ಡೇಟಾ ಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲಾಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಟೈಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ವೋಲ್ಟೇಜ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ರೈಟ್ ಸೊ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಗಿವ್ ದಿಸ್ ಡೇಟಾ ಆರ್ ಎಲ್ಸ್ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗೋ ಫಾರ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ರೈಟ್ ಈ ತರ ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಡೇಟಾನ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ರೈಟ್ ವಿತ್ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದ ವೋಲ್ಟೇಜ್ ರೇಟಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ರೈಟ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಗಿವ್ ದಿಸ್ ಡೇಟಾ ನೋ ದಿಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಪ್ರೆಡಿಕ್ಟ್ ದ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ಸ್ ಓಕೆ ಈ ತರ ನೀವು ಡೇಟಾನ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಕಾಗಿಲಿಂದ ಅಥವಾ ನೀವು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಡೇಟಾನ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಅಪ್ಲೋಡ್ ಇನ್ ಯುವರ್ ಕಾಗಿಲ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ರೈಟ್ ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ದ ಯುವರ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ಡೇಟಾ ಏಜ್ಡ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ದಿ ನ್ಯೂ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಅದೇ ತರ ಒಂದು ಏಜ್ಡ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಡೇಟಾ ತಗೋಬೇಕು ಅನದರ್ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಶೋ ಯು ದ fresh cell data, new cell data. Okay, this is the data for the fresh cell. Okay, so like this we have to collect the various data. Okay, ಈ ಡೇಟಾ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇವಾಗ ಬೇಕು ಈ ಡೇಟಾನ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಟ್ರೈನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ನೋ ವಿ ಟು ಟ್ರೈನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಡೇಟಾ ಇನ್ ದ ಮಷಿನ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ understood current voltage and temperature right with the different respect to the time current and voltage you have to collect all the data okay with respect to the different variation in the decimal points okay data na collect ಮಾಡಿ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು these data are recorded right so once you get this data no so once you get this data again you go back to the actual procedures right either you can make the python programming right or else you can go for the collecting the data and try to give to the machine learning. It will take much time okay this will take the much time for the making the analysis because this is the online softwares so we don't require any kinds of the payment also right Okay, either you can do it in the colab also, right? Or else you please collect the data from the Kaggle and try to provide the data and try to develop the Python programmings. Okay, here you have to give the battery capacity, right? The battery capacity in terms of kilowatt hour, right? And you have to provide the state of charge. That is the input state of charge. ಎಷ್ಟು percentage ಇದನ್ನು provide ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. And also it will try to calculate the battery capacity into SOC divided by 100. It gives the available energy in the currently, right? And it will just print the available energy, right? ಎಷ್ಟು kilowatt hour ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಅದನ್ನು provide ಮಾಡು. So this is a small programs have been given, right? ಅದೇ ತರ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, you try to develop the programs, right? And try to provide in the Google Colabs. Okay, Google Colabs ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅದನ್ನು ಕೋಡಿಂಗ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು, right? Based on coding it will try to generate the actual outputs for you, right? So by that you have to analyze the actual waveforms and the regression analysis. So that is the one thing using the Python also you can do it, right? Other thing is that you can go to the MATLAB also, right? That is for experiment number 1, right? Experiment number 1 ಅಲ್ಲಿ especially for the Uday's, right? Data so that is what the software I told you, using the Python you can do it. One with the Python also you can do it, right? You can use the machine learning energy based management also you can do it. Okay, or else you can go with the MATLAB Simulinks. You can go with the MATLAB Simulinks by creating the modeling in the microgrids, right, with the AI based controllers, right? Similarly we'll go for the second assignment. So is that clear, Uday?
sir, okay, sir.
If you have any queries you can ask me in the weekends, anytime you can come. We cannot
Okay,
discuss
sir.
completely with individually, okay, because it will take much time. ನೀವೇನೇ ಕ್ವೆರೀಸ್ ಇತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು
Sure.
ಯಾವಾಗಾದ್ರೂ ಬಂದು ಕೇಳಿ, ಓಕೆ? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬಂದು ಕೇಳಿ.
Sir.
And most of the things I cannot discuss only with one assignment, okay? I want to show the everyone's assignment, okay? So it will take little bit time. So next assignment for Mamta S, right? So design a smart battery energy smart management system, right, for electric vehicles, right? Your objective is to develop a smart BMS capable of monitoring the battery health. So that is SOH. ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಮಾನಿಟರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಲ ನೀವು 85%, 75%ಗಿಂತ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಬರಬಾರ್ದು. 75%ಗಿಂತ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಬರಂಗೆ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಡೆವಲಪ್ ದಟ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸಿ ದ ಮಾಡಲ್ಸ್ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ವಿಲ್ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಪಾನ್ ದಿ ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರ್. ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರ್ ಬಿಹೇವಿಯರ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೂಡ ಅದು ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ಬಿಹೇವಿಯರ್ ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿನೂ ಆಗಬಾರ್ದು, ಕಡಿಮೆನೂ ಆಗಬಾರ್ದು. ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಡೇಟಾ, ಸಿ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಡೇಟಾ ಗಿವನ್, ನೋ ಡೇಟಾ ಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನೋಡಿ ನಿಮಗೆ. ಈ ಥರ ಡೇಟಾ ಸೆಟ್ನ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Given from where I have to collect the data, right? See the temperature. See 379. If I take 379 of data, no, it is showing temperature almost 26.15. ನೋಡಿ ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. 1 ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಸೆಂಟಿಗ್ರೇಡ್ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿ. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಯಿತು, 26 ಇಂದ 46 ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆಟೋಮೆಟಿಕ್ ಥರ್ಮಲ್ ರನ್ವೇ ವಿಲ್ ಅಕರ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ ದಟ್ ಕೂಲಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ಸ್, ಕೂಲಿಂಗ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನೀವು. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಕೂಲಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್? ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ದ ಫ್ಲೂಯಿಡ್ ಕೂಲಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಇದೆ, ಫ್ಯಾನ್ ಕೂಲಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ದ ಕೂಲಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್, ರೈಟ್? So again you have to adapt the new mechanisms for making the cooling. If the temperature got raised, okay, ನೋಡಿ temperature ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಲ ಸೇಮ್ ಇದೆ, ಎಸ್ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್? ಸೊ ಈ ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಮಾನಿಟರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ದ ಅಸೈನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟೆಲ್. ಓಕೆ, ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಯುವರ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ರೈಟ್, ಯಾಕೆ ಇದನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ವಿ ಶುಡ್ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ದ ಸೇಫ್ಟಿ ಇನ್ ದ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ವೆಹಿಕಲ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ವೆಹಿಕಲ್ಗೆ ದೀಸ್ ಟು ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಲೈಫ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಯಿತು ಅಂದರೆ, ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರ್ ರೈಸ್ ಆಯಿತು ಅಂದರೆ ನಾವು ಅಂಥ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ನ ನಾವು ವಿ ಶುಡ್ ರಿಮೂವ್ ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ಲಿ, ರೈಟ್? So because when you are monitoring properly, right, when you are having a monitoring of your these parameters, right, SOH and temperature, right? So try to overcome from that, okay? Try to develop, try to improve the mechanisms, try to monitor the temperature, try to maintain the temperature properly, try to increase the life of the batteries. So that is what your actual objectives, okay? You have to develop the smart BMS technique, smart BMS, okay? So what is the problem statement? Battery failures, ನೋಡಿ battery failures ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಥರ್ಮಲ್ ರನ್ವೇ ಆಗುತ್ತಂತೆ, ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆನ್ ದಿ ಇ ವಿ ರಿಲಯಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್. ಸೊ ಇ ವಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಕೂಡ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ಒಂದು 100 ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ ಬರಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇವಾಗ 50, 60, 70 ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳಿ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿ ಬ್ಯಾಕಪ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂಡ್ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿ ಇಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಡಿಗ್ರೇಡ್ ಕ್ವಿಕ್ಲಿ because of the rise in the temperature. Okay, so what is your problems? The problem you have been observed that there is a failure in the batteries because of the thermal runaway which affects the electric vehicles movement. Okay, so what you have to do, you must design the BMS integrations of SOC and SOH estimations, fault detections and thermal management and even ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಒಂದು BMS architect ನ develop ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Okay, you can develop in the model in the this one also, right? Isn't it? So based on that you try to analyze here the problem statement. Okay, so you can go with the different types of the frameworks as I told, isn't it? Kalman filters kuda hogbodu, Coulomb counting method hogbodu. What are different methods we have? Direct method is there, yes or not? And adaptive Kalman filters methods idava. Ivella method na ನೀವು ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, analysis ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Again you go with the your IEEE papers. Again you please go with the IEEE papers and also the machine learning diagnostics. ನೋಡಿ machine learning diagnostic is very easier. ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಲ ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, every instant real time data ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. Yes or not? It is trying to give the real time data. See, every time it is in the data set it is giving the proper data. Temperature is not getting raised. Yes or not? Temperature nodi, it is not getting raised. I have taken the many data. ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಲ ನೋಡಿ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ರೈಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಸೇಮ್ 1 ಡಿಗ್ರಿ 0.5 ದಲ್ಲಿ ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ 25 ಮೇಲೆ 28 ಮೇಲೆ 30 ಮೇಲೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಹೌ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ದ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಬ್ಯಾಟರೀಸ್. Try to work from the thermal runway, isn't it? See, we have taken the 35,000, 3,58,310. That much of data we have been collected, isn't it? See, temperature is not rising only. Isn't it? So that's why you have to monitor these data. ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಲ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ನ ಮಾನಿಟರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. 26, 25 ಓಕೆ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಸೇಮ್, ಬಟ್ ಅದು 30 ಮೇಲೆ ಹೋಗಬಾರ್ದು, 20 ಬರಬಾರ್ದು. Okay, that is you have to maintain the constant temperature, right? So you should not try to increase the temperature in the very enormously, right? So try to develop the diagnosis of the models with the machine learning. Okay, so in that you have to see the electrochemical modelings, right? What is the priority you have to give? You should give priority more on the electrochemicals, that electrodes ಮೇಲೆ ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಹಿಂಗೆ ರಿಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಹಿಂಗೆ ಡಿಸ್ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ನೀವು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಫೋಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆಲ್ಸೋ ದಿ ಟೇಕ್ ವಿತ್ ಸಮ್ USD data driven analytics. Okay, based on also you can make the create the models, right? Use the techniques called Kalman filter methods, adaptive Kalman filter methods, Coulomb counting methods. ಇವೆರಡು ಮೆಥಡ್ ನ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಕಂಪ್ಯಾರಿಸನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Try to make the comparison with these two methods. Okay, so it will give which method is a very good one, and it will try to give the proper errors. Okay, ನೀವು errors ನ ಆದಷ್ಟು ತೆಗಿಯಕ್ಕೆ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Okay, what is your job? You have to design the architect, okay, and try to simulate the modelings, right? And try to use the different control strategies, okay, and validate and test the data. If you are going for machine learning, please try to go with the particular models, okay, and try to analyze. Okay, you have to explain more on the thermal imbalance. Imbalance ಯಾಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ಕ್ಲೀನ್ ಆಗಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟೆಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಯಾಕಿದೆ, ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟಜೀಸ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ, and instability, why it is having the instability. So you have to see the scenario that system performance is getting degraded under the varying load condition. ಲೋಡ್ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಒಂದೇ ತರ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಈಗ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ವೆಹಿಕಲ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಇಬ್ರು ಕುತ್ಕೋಬಹುದು, 3 ಜನ ಕುತ್ಕೋಬಹುದು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಒಬ್ರು ಕುತ್ಕೋಬಹುದು. So depending upon the load conditions, right, depending upon the varying in the load condition, the system performance is may be degraded. How it is degrading, what is depending, what is the scenario behind that, that is what you have to see, right? ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ಡೇಟಾನ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಇಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ by making the regression analysis. Okay, so you can go with the AI also, or else you can go with the this software I told you, in the MATLAB Simulink, right, with the SimScape, battery SOC and SOH estimation and battery modelings. Okay, or else you can go with the Python with AI based fault diagnosis. So is that clear, Mamta?
Yes.
So you know how to use a MATLAB, isn't it? Do you have the MATLAB softwares? Yes, Uday, Sneha.
Yes, sir.
MATLAB ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ವೇರ್ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ?
ಹಾ ಸರ್, ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಸರ್.
ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಓಪನ್ ದ MATLAB. Mamta, do you have the MATLAB, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, MATLAB open ಮಾಡಿ. ಸ್ನೇಹ,
Yes, sir. ಇದೆ ಸರ್.
ರಶ್ಮಿ,
Yes, sir.
so try to open your MATLAB. Okay, open ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ?
Yes, sir.
Okay, try to go with the new. ನೀವು ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೀರಲ್ವಾ? Go to the new Simulink model. Have you opened it? The new model?
Yes, sir.
Then you save that model. Model ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನೀವು, mine is not open, okay, little bit, it is very slow, it will take much time. It's taking so much of time. Okay, ಈ ತರ ಬಂತಲ್ಲ untitled. Have you got it now?
Yes, sir.
So you try to save as. Save as with the BMS. Okay, don't give any space. B ಆಗಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ M ಆ ಥರ ಕೊಡಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. Okay, so BM, then BM I will give yes. Okay, BM I will give space. So let's see what it will do. It will not save your files. See, it is giving error, isn't it? Honestly, there are error. Is it
Yes.
visible now? So
Yes, sir.
BM I have given the space. Okay, is not a valid model name because it is not a valid MATLAB function system. Okay, then ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, without giving the space you have to save it. BM ಇದಲ್ವಾ, ಇವಾಗ ಏನು ಮಾಡೋಣ, S ನ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಬರೆಯೋಣ. Now it will save in any folders. ಯಾವ್ದೊಂದು ಫೋಲ್ಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ನೀವು, ಸೇವ್ ಮಾಡಿ. Now it will untitled will renamed as a BMS, battery management system. So my laptop is little bit slow. Okay, got it now? It got renamed. ಬಂತಲ್ವಾ? Have you got Mamta, Rashmi, Uday? ನೀವು ಮಾಡೆಲ್ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಲ್ವಾ? Okay, once you open the model, no, then you go back to your MATLAB Simulink library. Okay, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ then go to the Simulink library. ಇಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಟೈಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. If you type SIMULINK, Simulink, Simulink ವರ್ಡ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಟೈಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. Okay, I have just typed Simulink. Okay, then it is starting the library browser. See, started. I did not click over here. Okay, I did not click over here. Simulink library click ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ, just type ಮಾಡಿದೆ Simulink ಅಂತ in small letter ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಅದೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತು, it has opened the new windows. Yes sir, it has opened the new windows open ಮಾಡಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ if you have, because I'm using the older versions, okay, so you don't find the machine learning and all over here, okay. In the 2025 A or B versions you may get the machine learning tools and all, okay. Here you can have the fuzzy logic tools also, right? You have the fuzzy logic tools, you have the membership functions, right, and you have the simscape. So these are the foundation libraries, okay. Foundation library have the all electrical elements. You will be getting all kinds of electrical elements to develop your models, right? Electrical sources are there, right? And also if you go to the sim power system, in the simscape components, right? So we have the various sources, you have the batteries also. So you have the batteries, add block to the models, right? Here also you have the electrical sources. You got it now? Is that visible?
Yes, sir.
Is that visible, Rashmi, Sneha? Have you taken the batteries?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Batteries ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ MATLAB ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ವೇರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ? Okay, we can do it later also, no problem. Can just go through it, okay. So ಇದರ ಬ್ಯಾಟರಿನ ನೀವು ಸೀರೀಸ್ ಪ್ಯಾರಲಲ್ ಕಾಂಬಿನೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್, ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಯು ಟೇಕ್ ದ ಬ್ಯಾಟರೀಸ್, ನೋ, ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ದ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪಲ್ ಕಾಪೀಸ್ by pressing the control and keeping the arrow mark. Cursor ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, try to control the holding the key, okay. Try to hold the key, click on the same blocks and try to copy it on it. You need to go to take the one times again, okay. So ಈ ಥರ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರತಿ ಬ್ಯಾಟರೀಸ್ನ ನೀವು ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ದ ಕನೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್, ಐದರ್ ಎ ಸೀರೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಕಾಂಬಿನೇಷನ್ಸ್, ಓಕೆ. ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿನ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ನ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಪ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಈ ಥರ, ಓಕೆ. ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಸಿಬಲ್, ನೋ?
Yes, sir.
ಸೊ ಈ ಥರ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿ ಪ್ಯಾಕ್ನ ರೆಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. Because I am using the older versions, okay, because I don't have this that software because it is not supported by my laptop. Okay, this is you have to make the your battery modules, battery pack na cells na ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಸೀರೀಸ್ ಪ್ಯಾರಲ್ ಕಾಂಬಿನೇಷನ್ ನೋಡಬೇಕು, ಯಾವ ಥರ ನೀವು ವೋಲ್ಟೇಜ್ ಬೇಕು, ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಬೇಕು, ಆ ಬೇಸಿಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನೀವು ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿನ ರೆಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಅಲಾಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ಯು ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ದ ಗ್ರಿಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ, ರೈಟ್. ಸೋಲಾರ್ PV ಗ್ರಿಡ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ದಟ್ PV ಗ್ರಿಡ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯೂಸ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಕೋಡಿಂಗ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ, ರೈಟ್. ವಿತ್ ದ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ MATLAB ಕೋಡಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಯು ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಡೆವಲಪ್, right. So if you want to go for doing in the coding, no, you please try to go with the writing the script ಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ, go to the script, okay. You save the script. ಈ ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟ್ನ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಸೇವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಓಕೆ. ವಿತ್ ವಾಟ್, ಸೋಲಾರ್ PGM, like solar programs, right. Means we are developing a model. ಒಂದು ಮಾಡೆಲ್ನ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸೋಲಾರ್ ಪ್ಯಾನಲ್ ಸಿಕ್ತು ಅಂದರೆ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ದಟ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಯು ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ರೈಟ್ ದ ಇಕ್ವೇಷನ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಇಕ್ವೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಏನೇನು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ, ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಇಕ್ವೇಷನ್ಸು ಮತ್ತು ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರ್ ಇಕ್ವೇಷನ್ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ರೈಟ್ ಡೌನ್ ದಿಸ್. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಓಪನ್ ಸರ್ಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ವೋಲ್ಟೇಜ್. ಈ ಥರ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ರೈಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಲ್ ದಿ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್, ರೈಟ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಸೇವ್ ಇಟ್. ಸೇವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಈ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ನ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಆ ಫೈಲ್ನ ಅಗೇನ್ ನೀವು ಗೋ ಟು ದ ಮಾಡಲ್ಸ್, ಗೋ ಟು ಯರ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಸ್. Right. So I'll just want to make one input and one outputs. So I'll just save the common blocks, okay. I'll just use some common blocks to make it to understand in a very easier way. Right. If it error comes also by trial and error methods, you can do it. right? So I want to see what is the voltage of this, isn't it? So then I'll be using the on the voltage measurement blocks, okay, from the Simulink library. I'll use the voltage measurement blocks. So if you don't find anything else, you please go over here, voltage measurements, okay. So if it is not giving means the word which I have written is not correct. Okay, unless you give the proper letters, no, it will not identify. Voltage measurement ಅನ್ನೋದು ಏನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ವರ್ಡ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಬರೀಬೇಕು. ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಕಮ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ದ ಮಾಡಲ್ಸ್. ಆಡ್ ಟು ಮಾಡಲ್ ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕಮ್ ಟು ದ ಯುವರ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್. So you wait for some time, okay. So then you try to connect this. If it is not connecting, then you have to use the some other, right? So you use the PS converters. Connect ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? So this is just want to see the battery voltage. See, but this is connected. Output of this voltage measurement is being connected, but this battery which is connected in parallel, it is not being connected with the voltage measurement. So that you have to use the PS converters. So ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? PS converters ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. PS converters ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Simulink converters, okay. So like this you have to use it. So if you use these kinds of blocks, no, then it will try to connect your models. Some Simscape to Simulink to Simscape, okay. So ಈ ತರ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? You try to connect it. And try to provide the battery voltages, okay. ಈ ತರ ನೀವು ಒಂದು ಬ್ಯಾಟರಿ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಲಿಥಿಯಂ ಅಯನ್ ಬ್ಯಾಟರೀಸ್, ಬ್ಯಾಟರಿ ವೋಲ್ಟೇಜ್ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? You try to provide the voltage levels, okay. Now we'll double click on this battery and then try to provide the voltage and ampere hour readings, okay. ಎಷ್ಟು ಆಂಪಿಯರ್ ಅವರ್ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಏಜ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಇರಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಈಚ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ದು ಅದು ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, okay. And also the initial charge, right, and also the voltage levels. That is the voltage which is with respect to the your normal voltage. That is the nominal voltage ಎಷ್ಟು ಇರುತ್ತೆ, 12 volts. That is what you have to mention the below that values, okay. And internal resistance, ಇದರ internal resistance ಎಷ್ಟು ಇರಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಕೂಡ ಡಬಲ್ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೀವು you have to see the put the values in that, okay. You can change the values, okay. You can change to 9.5 volts like this, okay. I'll change it to 8.5 volts, okay. Then change the rating of your batteries. That is, I'll keep for 25 each ampere hour, okay. Then apply and okay. So once you use this, now you just copy all these blocks. Try to select and delete it, okay. Then try to copy over here. So ಈ ತರ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿನ ಸೀರೀಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಕನೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು try to develop the models in the your grid models, right, as solar PV models, and try to interconnect all these blocks. ಈ ತರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬ್ಲಾಕ್ಸ್ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? Try to connect and see the outputs. Once you develop the models, no, then go for the analyzing the techniques, the various techniques you have to analyze. ಸೊ ಯಾವ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಪಿ ಬಿಲಲ್ಲಿ, ಆ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ನೀವು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಓಕೆ. Okay, that is what you have to develop with the Simscape with Simscape batteries for SOC and SOH estimation and battery models. Okay, you can use this Simscape models for developing the your batteries modeling. Okay, is that clear, Mamta?
Yes, sir.
So Pawan is there? Pawan Prasad
No, sir.
is not available. Okay, no problem. Okay, this assignment will be refined. Okay, this assignment will be refined again. But has given for the assignment number 1, assignment topic number 1. So ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ರಿಫೈನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮತ್ತೆ ಕಳಿಸ್ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಟುಮಾರೋ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ದಿಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಫೇಲ್ಯೂರ್ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಇದೆ ಮತ್ತು ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ವಾಟ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಯು, ರೈಟ್? ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಗೋ ಥ್ರೂ ಇಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಗೋ ಥ್ರೂ ಇಟ್. Okay, so what are the IEEE standards that you have to maintain in that? Yeah, so those things I'll just provide you. These are suggestions they have given for me to analyze. Okay, analysis ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕೊಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ಗೆ. ಆ ಬೇಸಿಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಬೈ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಏನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನು ನೀವು ಫಾಲೋ ಅಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ. Okay, if you don't follow anything else during the PBL, you try to come and meet me if you find any problems. So third one, Prasad is not there. Okay, no problem. Rashmi is available.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you have to see the grid scale energy storage for the peak load management. Okay, so you have to see the always how to scale up the grids, right, for the energy storage. If the load keep on increasing. Yesterday we have discussed this topic, right? I think you are there or not, I don't know exactly how to make the peak load management. Okay, our concept ಓದಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, or else you try to go with the IEEE papers. Okay, if you are not understood that concept in the sessions, if you have been absent, no problem. So please try to go with the IEEE papers. You'll understand how to develop the grid scale storage selections for the peak load shaping and frequency regulations, right? That is what we have discussed, isn't it? Uday, have we discussed it or not? Peak load management. Mamta. Okay, did we make the discussions on this peak load management?
ಮಾಡಿದ್ರ ಸರ್?
Peak load management. Have we done this, Rashmi? Peak load management. Rashmi, MN.
Yes, sir.
Have we completed this one? 1 minute. Huh? Grid scale energy storage for peak load management. ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ ಅದು? Rashmi, MN.
ಸರ್ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸರ್.
Grid scale energy storage for peak load management. Have we completed the topics? Uday, Mamta.
ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಗ್ರಿಡ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಸ್ಟೋರೇಜ್ ಅದು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಸರ್? ಮೇ 28 ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಎಸ್ ಸರ್.
ನೋಡಿ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ನೋಡಿ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಸರ್?
28th. So grid
ಹಾಂ
scale
ಸರ್.
for peak load management, right? Peak shaving ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಲ್ವಾ?
ಹೌದಾ ಸರ್?
Peak load, peak shaving, critical loads. So everything we has done. If you have missed, you can watch the videos, no problem. Okay, these predictions we require. We require this prediction on the grids. Okay, all right. So we are discussing about the grid scale energy storage for the peak load management, right? So you have to develop the grids, right? With the storage, you have to provide the storage, develop the grids, right? And check for the load shaving and the frequency regulations at all the times, right? So whenever the maximum load comes, you have to try to curtailment, make the curtailment of the loads, or try to provide the energy from your battery to the loads and try to compensate the loads, or else try to make the peak load saving, right? So that is what your objective is, right? So you have to develop in the problem statement is that the peak electricity demand creates. So whenever there is a demand comes, right, from the consumers, right, there should not have instability and high operating cost. During that time, what else you can make it, right? So what else you can do it from the that concept you have already studied, right? High operating cost kuda ನೀವು pricing you can keep when there is a demand comes, right? When there is a low demand comes, what is the price you are going to charge, right? What is the operating cost for the grids? That student has to design a utility scale, that is the energy storage system for load leveling and renewable energy supports, right? From the load you can make the load leveling or make the peak load savings, right? Whenever the load comes, right, try to disconnect the loads from the load sides of the consumers, right? So that is what you have to see the peak peak electricity demand, right? You try to create the instabilities and the high operating cost, right? That is what you have to show me, isn't it? That is actually your the problem statement, right? You have to design the scaling of ESS, right? The energy storage system na ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅದನ್ನ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. First you develop the grids, then you develop then see the load levelings, how the load levelings can be made in a renewable energy systems. So right, so what is the prioritizations you have to make? What are the frameworks? Compare the pumped hydro with the battery storage. Okay, ಎರಡು grid na ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. One with the hydro, other with the battery storage, and see what is in the modular batteries, right? In the centralized and modular battery storage ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ತರ ಏನಾಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನೀವು ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಚೆಕ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಸಿ ದ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ವೆನ್ ಎವರ್ ದ ಪೀಕ್ ಲೋಡ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್. ಆ ಗ್ರಿಡ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಪ್ರತಿ ಎರಡು ಗ್ರಿಡ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಲೋಡ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ pricing cost, that is the pricing cost for your charging of your battery and providing the supply from the batteries to the consumer, right? It may be centralized or decentralized battery storage. Please check the with the different models, right? Creating the different two grids, hybrid ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ sorry hydro or also with the versus the battery storage. Check how it is been incorporated in the actual your scaling the energy storage for the satisfying the peak load managements, right? And also evaluate the scalabilities. If the load comes, what scalabilities you can do it, how you are going to improve it, right? And also see the cost effectiveness, and also try to develop the response time from the your energy storage. When your the peak load comes, it has to respond to the ESS, right? And also check for the more on the peak shaving and the regulations of the frequencies, right? You have to develop the designs, architect designs to do it. Select the proper modelings for battery as well as the hydro, right? And simulate, use the different strategies for that and validate the test, right? You can go with the using the different types of tools also, right? So we have recommended the ETAP, right? So that is energy electrical transient analysis program, right? That is a load flow analysis for protecting the analysis of the grids, right? I can use the DigiSalent power factors also, you can use it, download and use it, right? I can use the MATLAB Simulink for the dynamic behavior of the simulations. Salat, Salman is present. Is that clear, Rashmi?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Salman, are you there? Next, Sanjita S.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is actually your topic of your PBL, right? So, what is the topic you have given? Solid state batteries for next generation of EV. So, alright, you can just go through your objectives, right? You have to investigate and design the solid state battery system for high energy density and electric vehicles, right? So, based on the type of generation, right? In the upcoming generation, what kind of the battery technologies you have to improve, right? So, conventional lithium ion batteries faces the limitations, right? ಸೊ ಲಿಥಿಯಂ ಅಯನ್ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬ ಡ್ರಾಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ನಮಗೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನೀವು ಯಾವ ಥರ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರೀಸ್ನ ಸಾಲಿಡ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿ ಡಿಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ದ ಮೋರ್ ಹೈ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಡೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಅಂಡ್ ದ for the fast movement of the electric vehicles in the market, right? And also see the try to propose the models, right? Try to propose the architects which can address these issues. So lithium ion batteries na ಯಾಕೆ ನಾವು ಪ್ರಿಫರ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, even though there is a benefit from that, and also there are many drawbacks from the lithium batteries. Why the people are going for the other kinds of the batteries rather than the lithium, right? That is what you have to issue has to be made by the students. Okay, so try to compare with the solid state with the lithium ion batteries. So you have to compare with the solid state with the lithium ion batteries and check in the chemistry of the batteries. Electrolytes ನೀವು ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. So based on that, try to evaluate the safety and energy densities and see the feasibilities of the fabrication of the cells, okay, which is the more better, right? Based on the high energy densities, right? So based on high energy density, try to fabricate the possibilities of the cells, right? So we have to decide which would be the better, right? Student must propose a solid state batteries architect and address these issues. Why it is better, ಯಾಕೆ ಅದು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ, ಲಿಥಿಯಮಿಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಡ್ರಾಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ನ ಕಂಪ್ಯಾರಿಸನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೀವು ಇದನ್ನ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಆರ್ಕಿಟೆಕ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಹೈಲೈಟ್ ವೈ ಲಿಥಿಯಂ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಗಿವಿನ್ ಗಾಟ್ ಅ ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಡ್ರಾಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಕಂಪ್ಯಾರಿಸನ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಯು ಟು ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಹೈಲೈಟ್ ಆಲ್ ದಿ ಅಡ್ರೆಸಸ್. Okay, so that is please go with the electrolytes of the studying the analysis of electrolytes and try to see the energy densities in the cells. Okay, so these are the experimentals and suggestions have been given over here, right? So you can also use the these are the expected recommended softwares to and the tools where you can use this. MATLAB, we have the MATLAB Simulink, right? Battery thermal modeling we have, right? Try to analyze with the modeling of the behavior of the battery cell, right? And you can go with the why these batteries is not very comfortable, not feasible it is the lithium ion batteries and compare with the solid state batteries, right? Cooling system implement ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ಆ ಇಶ್ಯೂನ you have to address it properly. Okay, next Shivraj. Shivraj is present. Shivraj ji. Okay, all right. Sneha K.
Yes, sir.
See, here also almost like very similar to the first assignment, right? You have to make the AI predictions. AI predictions ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಅವರು ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಸ್ಟೋರೇಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನೀವು ಕೂಡ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಇದೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅಸೈನ್ಮೆಂಟು. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಮಾಡಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಅಸೈನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಇನ್ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಟೆಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ before finalizing the assignments. Okay, so here predictive maintenance of energy storage, you have to monitor the energy storage systems, right, using the AI. So what is your objective actually? Objective is to make the AI driven, right, predictive maintenance framework for energy storage system. So ನೀವು ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಿಡಿಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಮಾಡೆಲಿಂಗ್ನ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. You have to develop the framework where you are going to monitor the energy storage at all the times. 24/7 ನೀವು ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಸ್ಟೋರೇಜ್ನ ಮಾನಿಟರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತ ಕೂತ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ is there any chances of failure in the batteries ಯಾವಾಗ ಫೇಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಏನು ಅನ್ನೋದು, that is what you have to make the predictions, right? And check the reliabilities Okay, reliability is not check ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರಬೇಕು ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಲ you have to monitor it because AI will do that job. AI, you have given the job to the AI will do your job, right? So it will try to improve the reliabilities, all right, and try to increase the increasing the maintenance cost, right? That is what it has to see the failure of the batteries. ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿ ಯಾವಾಗ ಫೇಲ್ಯೂರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಏನು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಪ್ರಿಡಿಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಯಾಕೆ ಫೇಲ್ಯೂರ್ ಆಯಿತು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ಜಸ್ಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅದನ್ನು. ಓಕೆ, ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ರೀಸನ್ ಬಿಹೈಂಡ್ ದಟ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ದ ಪ್ರಿಡಿಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಮೇಂಟೆನೆನ್ಸ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಮೇಂಟೆನೆನ್ಸ್. ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿನ ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಲ ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಮಾಡ್ಯೂಲ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಪ್ಯಾಕ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನೀವು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿ ಯಾಕೆ ಆ ಥರ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ, ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ರೀಸನ್ ಬಿಹೈಂಡ್ ದಟ್, ರೈಟ್? ವೈ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಸ್ಟೋರೇಜ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕಪ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಗಿವಿಂಗ್ ಸೋ ಮಚ್, ರೈಟ್, as earlier what it was giving earlier, right? So that is what you have to make the predictive analysis for the fault diagnosis and maintenance scheduling. So right, and also try to have the fault diagnosis kuda ನೀವು results na ತೆಗಿಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. Battery cells yake it is not giving the proper, and why it is the unexpected failure it is occurring in the energy storage system, right? That is what you have to make the comparing with the predictive versus the predictive maintenance, right? And also see the machine learning versus statistical methods. You develop the two models, one with the regressions, other with the statistical model develop ಮಾಡಿ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಇವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಯೇಟ್ ದ ಡಿಟೆಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಕ್ಯುರಿಸಿ. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಫಾಲ್ಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಯಾಕೆ ಆ ಥರ ಚಾರ್ಜಿಂಗ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ವೈ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಗಿವಿಂಗ್ ದ ಡೆಪ್ತ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಿಸ್ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಲಿ, why the depth of discharge is not having. We have to see the maintenance and the operation reliabilities, so that you can have the reduction in the reliabilities. ಸೊ ಅದು ಮೇಂಟೆನೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ನಮಗೆ ನೀವು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ನ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತೀರಾ ಅದೇ ಥರ ನಾವು ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ದಿ ರಿಲಯಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಪಾಸಿಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್, ಓನ್ಲಿ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ದ increasing the reliabilities. Okay, so you can go with the in the machine learning, okay, you can go with the ENN, that is the neural network models. Okay, machine learning alli you have the neural network models is there you can analyze these models. So neural network andre na avagale helidinalva, you have to go in depth. Yes or no? So you have to use these deep learning models. Is that visible?
Yes, sir.
ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಿದೆಯಲ್ವಾ?
Yes, sir.
ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆಯಲ್ವಾ? ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಮೇಂಟೆನೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು 24/7 365 ಡೇಸ್ನ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿನ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಇರಬೇಕು, ನೋಡಬೇಕು, ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಪ್ರತಿ ಯಾಕೆ ಫೇಲ್ಯೂರ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ಜಸ್ಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ರಿಲಯಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್, ಯಾಕೆ ನಮಗೆ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಟಿ ಪವರ್ ಸಪ್ಲೈ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಬ್ಯಾಕಪ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಕೂಡ ನೋಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಡೂ ದ ಪ್ರಿಡಿಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಗೋ ವಿತ್ ದ ನ್ಯೂರಲ್ ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ನ್ಯೂರಲ್ ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಬೀನ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಇನ್ಸೈಡ್ ದ ಬ್ರೈನ್ ದ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ದೇರ್. ಓಕೆ, ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ನರಗಳು ಇರ್ತಾವೆ ಒಳಗಡೆ, ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನೀವು ಇನ್ ಡೆಪ್ತ್ ಆಗಿ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ಇನ್ ದ ಯುವರ್ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿ ಮಾಡೆಲಿಂಗ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಸಿ ದ inspiration for the neural network, right? So it will try to give the actual the neural network models. Deep learning model ನೀವು ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅದನ್ನು ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. Understood, no? So try to go with the neural network models and see the statistical method and the other regression methods. Okay, you have the two right, predictive, and another you have the machine learning versus the statistical methods ನೀವು ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಬೈ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ದೀಸ್ ಟು ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಡಿಸೈನ್ ಯುವರ್ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ದಿ ಫೇಲ್ಯೂರ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರೀಸ್. ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿ ಯಾಕೆ ಫೇಲ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಕೂಡ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ದ ಕಂಪ್ಯಾರಿಸನ್, ರೈಟ್, ವಿತ್ ದ ಪ್ರಿಡಿಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಮೇಂಟೆನೆನ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ ಪ್ರಿವೆಂಟಿವ್ ಮೇಂಟೆನೆನ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಪ್ರಿಡಿಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಮೇಂಟೆನೆನ್ಸ್ ಈಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ದಿ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಮೇಕಿಂಗ್ ದ ಪ್ರಿಡಿಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿ ಯಾಕೆ ಆ ಥರ ಆಯಿತು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನು ಜಸ್ಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಪ್ರಿವೆಂಟಿವ್ ಈಸ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಟು ನಾಟ್ ಟು ಓವರ್ಕಮ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಟ್. ಆ ಥರ ಆಗಬಾರ್ದು, ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಡಿಗ್ರೇಡ್ ಆಗಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಕೂಡ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಟೇಕ್ ದ ಪ್ರಿವೆಂಟಿವ್ ಮೇಂಟೆನೆನ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಟ್, ರೈಟ್? ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ದ ಜಸ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್, ಮೇಕ್ ದ ಕಂಪ್ಯಾರಿಸನ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಟ್ ಬೈ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ದ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸ್ಟಾಟಿಸ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ನಿಮ್ಮದು ನ್ಯೂರಲ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ವಾ, ನ್ಯೂರಲ್ ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ಮಾಡಿ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಯುವರ್ VMS, that is vector machines modeling also it will try to support. So all right, so these are the softwares we can use it, right? You can go with the AWS also if you are good in AWS. You might have learned, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can go with the AWS, right? And also you can go with the Python also. Python alli TensorFlow na if any times if you come and meet me, no, I can teach you the TensorFlow, right? I cannot teach you all the these tools and softwares over here. right? It will take a much time, right? It needs a lot of more than 3 hours it will take. So if you have any queries with respect to the softwares, ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಬಂದು ಕೇಳಿ ನನಗೆ, ಈ ಥರ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ I can insist you to learn that software, okay? So that is what we are expecting with your PBL, right? ಸೊ PBL ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ನಾವು ಏನು ಅಸೈನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಆ ಬೇಸಿಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಬೈ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂತ ಹೋಗಿ. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನೇನು ಅಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಬೈ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿ. ನೀವು ಯಾವ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ವೇರ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಕಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಸ್ಕ್ ಮೀ. I can teach you the Power BI also, right? Tabular I can teach you, right? I can teach you the MATLAB also. I can teach you the your Python also in the TensorFlow. So ನಿಮಗೆ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಮಾಡಲ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಅದು ಸೂಟಬಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಗೋ ಥ್ರೂ ದ IEEE ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್, ಓಕೆ? IEEE ಪೇಪರ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಹುಡುಕ್ಬೇಕು. ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಲರ್ನ್ ಇಟ್. ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್ ದಟ್ IEEE ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ಸ್ ಕಳಿಸಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ನಾಳೆ. ಸೊ ಅದ್ರ ಮೂಲಕ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, IEEE ಪೇಪರ್ನ ಡೌನ್ಲೋಡ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಯಾವ ಮಾಡಲ್ಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಯಾವ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ವೇರ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಮಗೆ ಯಾವ್ದು ರೆಲೆವೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಕೂಡ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನು ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ದ ಲಿಟ್ರಸಿ ಸರ್ವೆ ಫಾರ್ ದಟ್, ಓಕೆ? ಲಿಟ್ರಸಿ ಸರ್ವೆ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಒಂದು ಐಡಿಯಾ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ನೋ ಸ್ನೇಹ? ಆರ್ ಯು ಫಾಲೋಯಿಂಗ್? ನೋ?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
ನೀವು ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲಂಗೆ ನೀವು PBL ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್? ವಿತೌಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಎನಿ ಬೇಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನಾಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್, ರೈಟ್? ಯಾವ ಥರ ಮಾಡಲ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಕೂಡ ನೀವು IEEE ಪೇಪರ್ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ಸ್ ಕಳಿಸ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು. ಸೊ ವಿತ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಫ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಡೂ ಇಟ್, ಓಕೆ? ಸೊ I can show you the one models here, right, in IEEE papers. So we have been developed for the TMSC models, synchronous machines model for the electric vehicles, right? So ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಿ, you try to give the author name or the paper contents in the IEEE, right? And try to see the paper which is available in the IEEE, right? So I have given the my names, okay, in the IEEE. So for electric vehicles, right, we have made an experimental validation for jellyfish algorithms, right? We have developed the algorithms which is based on the torque controls of the paramagnetic synchronous machine drive in the electric vehicles. So ಈ ಥರ ನೀವು ಪೇಪರ್ನ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಯು ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಡೌನ್ಲೋಡ್ ದಟ್ ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್, ಓಕೆ? ಆ ಪೇಪರ್ನ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿ, ನೀವು ಪೇಪರ್ನ ಡೌನ್ಲೋಡ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ರೀಡ್ ದಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಟ್ ಪೇಪರ್. ಯಾವ ಅಲ್ಗೋರಿಥಮ್ಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರು, ಸೊ ಹೌ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಬೀನ್ ಜನರೇಟೆಡ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಗೋ ಥ್ರೂ ದಟ್ ಪೇಪರ್, ವಿಲ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ವೆರಿ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ಲಿ, ಓಕೆ? ನೀವು ಆ ಪೇಪರ್ನ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಗೋ ಥ್ರೂ ದಟ್ ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಅನಲೈಸ್ ದ ವೇರಿಯಸ್ ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟೇಷನಲ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ಸ್, ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಕೂಡ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಸಿ ಇಟ್, ಓಕೆ? ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಡೆವಲಪ್ ದ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ಸ್, ಓಕೆ? ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟೇಷನ್ ಲೋಡ್ಸ್ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ಸ್ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಸೊ ಆ ಥರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರತಿ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ಸ್ನ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಅನ್ಲೆಸ್ ಯು ಮೇಕ್ ದ ಸರ್ವೆನೋ, ಲಿಟ್ರಸಿ ಸರ್ವೆ ಮಾಡೋವರೆಗೂ ನೀವು PBL ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಐ ಆಮ್ ವೆರಿ ಶ್ಯೂರ್, ಓಕೆ? ಸೊ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಕುಡ್ ಯು ಗೋ ಥ್ರೂ ಆಲ್ ದಿಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್? ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಲ್ವಾ? Please try to go with all these IEEE papers which are mentioned for you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, ನೀವು ಸರ್ವೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬನ್ನಿ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸರ್ವೆ ಮಾಡಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ವೇರ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಯು ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ದ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ವೇರ್, ಯಾವ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ವೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂತ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಕಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ವಿತ್ ಮೀ. ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗೋ ವಿತ್ ಯುವರ್ MATLABs, ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗೋ ವಿತ್ ಯುವರ್ E-type also, I can go with your TensorFlow in the Python, right? So all this will discuss in depth, okay? So this I just given the introduction of your machine learning also, right? I just given the introduction of the machine learning and how to use this softwares in the Google Colabs also I given, right? ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್ನ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಡೆವಲಪ್ ದ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ದ ಡೇಟಾ ಸೆಟ್ನ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ನೀವು ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಮೆಷಿನ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ಸ್, ಓಕೆ? ಸೊ ಮಿಷಿನ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನು ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಮಿಷಿನ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ನ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಫಂಡಮೆಂಟಲ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ನಾನು, ಓಕೆ? ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎನಿ ಕ್ವರೀಸ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಕಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಮೀಟ್ ಮೀ ವಿತ್ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಟು ಯುವರ್ PBLs. So all right, so one model I can been developed, just show you that models, okay? So that is for the making the predictions of the batteries for the state of health ನ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಮಾನಿಟರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಾನು ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ನ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ for to train the machines. So is this visible, Sneha?
No, sir.
Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
See, I've just created a model for you to make you to understand, okay? So these are the procedure for the deep learning of your clustering models. In the assignment lane is actually deep learning, right? Isn't it? You can go with the deep learning also. Okay, under the machine learning, we can go with the deep learning also to develop that models. So first you have to prepare all your data and load the data, right? And you have to see the k-means of the errors, right? And build the deep learning models. You have to train the deep learning model data, evaluate and visualize and make the prediction and give the final task, right? So first you have to do the collect all the data, experimental data ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ ನಾನು ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನೋಡಿ. ಸೊ ಲೋಡ್ ದ experimental ಏಜ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಆ ಡೇಟಾ ಸೆಟ್ ನೀವು ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನ ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಪಾಂಡಾಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಫೈಲ್ ಇದೆ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಲೈಬ್ರರಿ ಫೈಲ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಪೈಥಾನ್. Okay, from there you collect it and then give it to the in that library files of the deep learning models, right? It will try to develop the clustering models. Clustering models ಏನು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅನ್ಸೂಪರ್ವೈಸ್ಡ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ ನ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. So you have just load the data. So load the experiment data pandas library for the data frame. Okay, so this is actually my data. So I am expecting these are the outputs. Okay, so it will try to create the columns with battery health conditions. ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಲ ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. See that the data battery data sets. Okay, it will try to monitor, it will try to analyze. Every time it will try to analyze, it will give the outputs. See temperature ನಾನು ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಲ ಮಾನಿಟರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಬ್ಯಾಟರಿ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಕೂಡ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರಬೇಕು. Right, it will try to make the predictions. Right, so then see the clusters. Yeah, clusters modeling ಹೇಳಿದಲ್ಲ ನಾನು, grouping ಮಾಡೋದು. So that is what you have to make the clustering from 1 to 15. I have made the groupings. So right, this is how you have to train the data. So every time it will try to give the errors. Absolute error, that is a MAE, that is mean absolute error, it will try to give. Okay, so ಈ ತರ ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅದನ್ನ ಡೀಪ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. Okay, then this is actually your predicted health conditions. I'm just expecting from this you. Sneha, is this visible?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
ನೋಡಿ ಈ ತರ ನೀವು ಪ್ರೆಡಿಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬ್ಯಾಟರಿ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಪ್ರೆಡಿಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಐ ಟೋಲ್ಡ್ ಯು ನೋ, ವಿತ್ ದ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಯುವರ್ ಬ್ಯಾಟರಿ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಮೇಕ್ ದ ಪ್ರೆಡಿಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ SOH. So this is what you have to make the prediction, right? Right, after giving the unsupervised learning ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಡೀಪ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡೇಟಾ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಯು ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಗಿವ್ ದಿಸ್ ಡೇಟಾ, train the data. Okay, train the data first and it will try to make the clustering models. ಒಂದು ಕ್ಲಸ್ಟರಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ ನ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತದೆ. Okay, ಆ ಕ್ಲಸ್ಟರಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ಸ್ ನ ನೀವು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಪ್ರೆಡಿಕ್ಟ್ ದ your health monitoring of the batteries. Okay, so that is what it can be visualized, we can understand from this model. So once you start learning, no, you will understand. I cannot teach this now. Okay, ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ನೀವು ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ, ಸರ್ವೆ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ, ಪೇಪರ್ ನ ಡೌನ್ಲೋಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ, you start working on that, then you will understand what this graph exactly shows. Okay, so this is what we are going to expect in the at the end, okay, of the battery health conditions. Understood, no Sneha?
Yes, sir.
So ಈ ತರ ನೀವು ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. Okay, if you have find any problems, you can come and meet me at any time.
Sure, sir.
Okay. So is that clear? Any queries you have?
No, sir.
Mamta, do you
No,
have any
sir.
queries? Sneha, Mamta, Sanjit, Ashmi, Uday is not there. Any queries with this in the today's sessions?
No, sir.
No, sir.
So tomorrow I will be providing the assignments to you. Okay, please go through the assignments. If you don't follow, you please come and ask me. Okay, how to develop the assignments. Okay, don't find any difficulties. Okay, you have to discuss with your mentors. Okay, so mentor discuss ಮಾಡಿ you try to learn it. Okay, I'm there to teach you. I'm there to guide you. Okay, whenever you find free, you come and meet me. Okay, I'll just insist you to develop your actual models of your energy storage, or it may be BMS, or it may be any kinds of the non-conventional grids also, right? In the MATLAB and TensorFlow, Python, right? In machine learning, neural network, ಯಾವುದೇ ಆಗಿರಲಿ ನೀವು ಬಂದು ಕೇಳಿ. Okay, so everything I can insist you, right? It needs some time to learn. I hope you understood. Okay, so shall we wind up the class? If you don't have any queries, if you have any queries, you can ask me. Because once the assignment is published now, then you have to work on your specific assignments. It cannot be interchanged, it cannot be, this can be made also modified, cannot be modified later. Okay, if you have any queries, you can ask me. Manta, do you have any queries?
No, sir.
Sneha?
No, sir.
Okay, shall we wind up the class? If you don't have any queries. So
Yes,
tomorrow
sir.
assignment will be posted. Okay, tomorrow sir will be posting the assignments. Okay, please go through your assignments from the day one. Okay, how long you will be having the time for completing your assignments?
2 weeks, sir.
2 weeks, right? So 15 days you have to work very hard. Something you can achieve. Your name will be in the IEEE. That I can give the assurance. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಅಸೈನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಏನೋ ಸಾರ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು, those things should not be there. Okay, try to learn. Because ನಾವು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕಲ್ ಒಂದೇ ಕಲಿಬಾರ್ದು. ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕಲ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕಲ್ ಒಂದೇ ಓದಬೇಕಂತ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ. ವಿಲ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಲರ್ನ್ ದ IoTs also, will try to learn the data science, will try to learn cyber security, will try to learn the machine learning. ಎಲ್ಲದೂ ಕಲಿಯೋಣ. ಓಕೆ, ಎಲ್ಲದೂ ಕಲಿಬೇಕು. All domains you should be familiar with various domains. Okay, so that's why not only in the MATLAB, okay, you can go with the AWS, okay, you can go with your Python also. ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ನ ಕಲಿಯಕ್ಕೆ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ವರ್ಕ್ ಹಾರ್ಡ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಡೇ. ಓಕೆ, ಕೀಪ್ ಸರ್ಟನ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಫಾರ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಯರ್ ಅಸೈನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್. ಅಸೈನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ನ ನೀವು ಆದಷ್ಟು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಫೋಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಬೈ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ನೋಡಿ, ಓದಿ, ಫೋಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ these assignments will try to fetch and give the more importance, to give the more weightage for your resumes. Okay, ನಾಳೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ M.Tech ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನೀವು ಒಂದು ರೆಸ್ಯೂಮ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಥರ ನಾನು IEEE ಪೇಪರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹೆಸರು ಬರಬೇಕು. That is what I am expecting. Okay, you try to develop those things. Understood, no? So ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ನೀವು, ಪ್ರತಿ ದಿನ ಅಸೈನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ನೀವು try to focus on it, right? See, as I showed the one thing here over here, isn't it? As typed on my names, one paper I have in the IEEE. I have one paper in the IEEE, right? So like that, ನಿಮ್ಮದು ಹೆಸರು ಕೂಡ ಏನಾಗಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರಬೇಕು. So EV applications we have developed one paper on the IEEE. So this is one of the paper which has published very earlier, right? ಈ ಥರ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ನಿಮ್ಮದು ಒಂದು ಪೇಪರ್ನ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಒಂದು ಅಲ್ಗೋರಿಥಮ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ, and try to get the various kinds of issues, make the comparisons, or make the performance, make the enhancement, make the optimizations. Okay, ನಿಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನು ಅಸೈನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ನಾವು ಏನೇನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ಫಿಸಿಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಆಲ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಚೆಕ್. ಓಕೆ, ಏನೇನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅನ್ನೋ ಪಾಸಿಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ನ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ನೀವು ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ದ ಪ್ರಿಡಿಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಟ್ರೈ to publish the papers in some good journals like IEEE ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, or else any some Springers, okay, ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟು, ಆ ಥರ ಪೇಪರಲ್ಲಿ, ಆ ಥರ ಜರ್ನಲ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪೇಪರ್ನ ಪಬ್ಲಿಷ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಿ. ಆ ಲೆವೆಲಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ PPN ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ರೈಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಡೇ ಒನ್, ಓಕೆ, ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಡೆವಲಪ್ your projects. Okay, I hope it is clear to you. Machine learning ಎಲ್ಲ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? Is that clear? Machine learning and all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So what we are expecting now? Sneha, Mamta, your paper should be published in some good journals. Correct?
Yes, sir.
ನೀವು ಮಾಡೋ ಪೇ ಬಿಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಅದು ಒಂದು ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಬಾರ್ದು ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಆ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು ಯಾವುದೋ ಜರ್ನಲ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮದು ಹೆಸರು ಬರಬೇಕು, ಒಂದು ಪೇಪರ್ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಅದರಿಂದ ಆ ವೇಟೇಜ್ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನು ರೆಸ್ಯೂಮ್ ವೇಟೇಜ್ ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. ಎಲ್ಲ ನಾಳೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಟೀಚಿಂಗಿಗೆ ಹೋದಾಗ, ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರೀಸಿಗೆ ಹೋದಾಗ, ಇಫ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಇನ್ IEEE ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ವೇಟೇಜ್. ಇದು ಮೇ ಬಿ ಆಫ್ ಜರ್ನಲ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ವೇಟೇಜ್ ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ. IEEE ಜರ್ನಲ್ಸ್ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂದರೆ ಇಟ್ ಗಿವ್ಸ್ ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ವೇಟೇಜ್. ಒಂದು ಪೇಪರ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಮೇಡ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಅಚೀವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ಯುವರ್ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್. ಓಕೆ, ಪಿ ಬಿಲ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಕೂಡ. ಪಿ ಬಿಲ್ ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ಆ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಗಿವ್ ಅಟ್ ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ದಟ್ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ Q3 or Q2 ಅಟ್ ಲೀಸ್ಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಆ ಥರ ನೀವು ಒಂದು ಮಾಡೆಲ್ನ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಅಲ್ಗೋರಿಥಮ್ನ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಿ. ಐ ಹೋಪ್ ವಿಲ್ ಡೂ ದಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್? ಮಮತಾ, ಸಂಜಿತಾ, ರಶ್ಮಿ, ಸ್ನೇಹ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಲ್ವಾ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if you have any queries, you can come and ask me at any time. Okay, I'll be available in the campus. ಈಗ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಬಂದು ಕೇಳಿ. ಒಂದೇ ಸಲ ಏನೋ ಮಾಡಿ ಏನೋ ಸಬ್ಮಿಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಯುವರ್ ಟೈಮ್. ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಫೋಕಸ್ ಆನ್ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ ಯುವರ್ the PVLs, right? That is what we are going to expect, right? ಒಂದು ಪೇಪರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಪೇಪರ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಪಬ್ಲಿಷ್ ಇನ್ ಸಮ್ ಗುಡ್ ಜರ್ನಲ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್. Okay, you don't have any queries now?
No, sir.
Sneha, you don't have any queries?
No, sir.
Okay, shall we wind up the class?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.